the GOP, that MAGA, that drowsy Donnie, dodging Donnie, by the way, had the nerve, the gall, the brazen hubris. I don't even know. To say that the men and women deployed on the USS Lincoln, who have been out to sea since last November, and family members desperately trying to get the word out that their family members were suffering, that there were sailors jumping off and trying to jump off the ship. He said they hadn't been out there nearly long enough. He said that that's not really happening, that no one's suffering, that no one's complaining, that the families aren't worried, that they aren't angry and upset. And then Hegseth doubling down on that. And I anyway, that's one of the things that's top of mind for me today, amongst other things. Actually, one of the things that's top of mind is also the work that we do in our communities, organizing and working with the Democratic organizations where you live. And I had the honor, the absolute pleasure to drive up to Elkhorn, Wisconsin, and join the Walworth Dems up there for their event yesterday. They were very kind to invite me to speak. And I never, like, I straddle this sort of weird line between being a performer and being, I don't even know what the other role is, like a commentator, I don't know. I like working with good people who are doing the hard work of getting voters out. I guess a rallier. Come on, folks, let's go. At any rate, I was thinking about the years that I've spent since, I want to say we started in 2021 or 2022, driving up to Wisconsin, created this little group called Fibs for Wisconsin, and door knocking, phone banking, showing up where they ask us to. And I really enjoyed doing it. And it was wonderful to gather with everybody. Yesterday, they had candidates coming up from all parts of the state. Their candidate and current attorney general. They had Sarah Godlewski was there. They had their legislative candidates. Folks, if you live in Wisconsin, find your Democratic offices near you. Well, everybody find your Democratic offices near you, and just check out one of their meetings or one of their events and see the work that they're doing. And of course, there are other organizations you can work with Indivisible. I never know. There's also kind of these boundaries a little bit of like who does what. And I forget that because I'm just kind of doing everything all at once. And I'm always happy to be involved in the work that all those great groups do. So find your local Democratic office. And it was really wonderful to share some stories and words of encouragement. I really know how hard the next 78 days, I believe it's 78 days until the general election. Early voting is starting even earlier than that. Is it really 78 days? That can't be right. September, October. Yeah, I guess it's 78 days. And then early voting starts for folks. So we're under the, we're very close to the, what the fall is going to look like. I try not to worry about it. With optimism, the hard work. And one of the things I talked about, too, is pacing yourself. This is not, people always talk about like whether this is a marathon, this is a sprint. I have said this for years. This is a relay race. We can't all take this on ourselves. You can't do this alone. And you need to take a break. Sometimes your lap to run. Sometimes it's your turn to get in the car and drive volunteers around or drive voters to the polls. Maybe it's your turn to go door knocking if that's something you're up for and if it's something you're curious about. I really enjoy doing it. We'll be having events coming up. We'll let the folks know, and we're taking the Fibs for Wisconsin on the road and get involved, get engaged. And it is challenging, right? Because we see so much online. We see the absolute joy that MAGA takes in inflicting pain on others to the point of when somebody is shot in front of us, that they celebrate it and say that they deserved it. Even I really cannot think of a situation where I can't imagine it, right? Where I would see somebody in MAGA, somebody I disagree with so wholeheartedly, despise what they stand for, and then cheer on their murder in front of us. I really find it very hard, and I know that I'm also different from even people in my own family when it came to executing my own brother's murderer. I don't take joy in somebody dying. And so seeing so many, and we've talked about this before, that when we see people doing things that are, I almost feel naive when I still have the ability to be shocked and horrified by what MAGA does. And it is because it's something I would never imagine doing or feeling. Hatred is such an easy emotion. It's a defense mechanism in your brain. You believe someone or something to be a threat. You've been told that. You've heard it over and over and over again, whether it's through Fox or your family, whether it's in your community, and you believe it so much. But it's also easy to not ask more questions, to not be curious, to not be wondering, is that true? Is that accurate? You just go right to the hatred, to the bloodthirst. And I'm sorry, but I feel the people that I work with, the work that I do, comes from a place of love, including the people who do things that I despise, who stand for the things I absolutely cannot tolerate, including intolerance. I still operate from wanting those people to be safe, to have not just a wage that helps them survive, but a thriving wage. I want them to have access, everyone, because if they have access to healthcare, that means we all have access to healthcare, universal healthcare for everybody. So we are all doing better. And so I feel that we operate from a place of love, loving our communities, our country, our family, and wanting everyone to do better so that we do better. And so I don't have problems causing good trouble. I see these videos and I try not to simmer in it. I try not to let it, wash over me and to the point where I can't take it off my mind. I mean, I saw one content creator who went to one of the detention centers in Texas, and he was absolutely overcome with feeling helpless. He met people who had not been able to connect with their family members. I mean, he was in tears. He's the son of immigrants, and he was absolutely distraught. And I'm not out there enough. I have not been in situations where I'm fully comprehending how horrible this is, except for what I see on my phone, on television, the conversations that we have. But I was really struck by his experience. And when people say these are not concentration camps, when there are 2,000 people in a facility who are being denied due process, who are being denied the ability to connect with their families, who are not being given proper nutrition, access to fresh air, what exactly do folks think a concentration camp is, except for inhumane conditions? And we have that, and we know through our private prison system that we also are treating people inhumanely in our correctional facilities. And I just don't have I don't have the stomach or the instinct to want to make people suffer because they committed a civil offense. Being here without proper documentation is a civil offense. And even then, right, you're breaking the law, right? Breaking the law, speeding, blowing through a stop sign is breaking the law. And by the way, to everyone's point about how, they use their car as a weapon, speeding is using your car as a weapon. And by the way, more people are killed as a result of people violating the speed limit than immigrants who are here without documentation. And I've had people on my Facebook page say, because I am against the violent behavior of our ICE agents. And I have to say ours because we are paying for them. And these lawmakers who are now appalled, they're going to buy gloves that transmit electricity, shock gloves. That wasn't no, you signed for it. You voted to fund that kind of barbaric treatment. And then to see videos of law enforcement going, look, this is how we use these gloves, and that they are using them in schools, that there are school districts in this country. I saw one out of Omaha, Nebraska, that this is acceptable training and procedure. Wow. Absolutely gobsmacked by all of that, appalled, heartbroken, all the things. But I don't know. I'll never be able to understand the mind of somebody who just is so bloodthirsty to see people die. I've had people say to me on social media in regards to people who are here undocumented, wait until I've had people say, I hope someone rapes and kills someone you love. And so my response, I mean, I will respond to that in that already happened. Now what? And it was a white dude, a white American citizen. So does that make it okay that my brother was raped and murdered by a white guy? That I was raped by a white guy? I just want to know. I'm just curious if that. Oh well, then as long as he was here legally, that's different. So, and like I said, I don't necessarily reflect the opinions of my family members or the other surviving families, but I resent when people use, for me personally, resent when people say, not knowing my family's history, say, well, what about someone like Gacy? Shouldn't someone like him be executed when they know? It did nothing for my family. I will tell you, it changed absolutely nothing for my father. Again, I don't speak for anybody else in my family. My dad did not, he didn't change his mind on that, and we didn't argue about it. And believe me, I was only 22 or 23 years old, and my dad asked me to write a letter to then, I believe Edgar was in office at the time. Was it Edgar, Ryan? Which one was? No, it wasn't George Ryan. It was, I don't know if I think it was Edgar. It's got to be Edgar, but I still have a copy of the typewritten letter that I wrote for my dad, very brief, asking him not to change his mind about the execution. And in my experience, and so I am speaking from a place of, my brother's murderer was executed. And so, would I feel differently if he was still alive? I can't speak to that. I can tell you that it does nothing. And justice doesn't come for families. There's no sense of closure. There's no sense of, relief. My dad didn't feel relief. And if anything, what my dad wanted, he wanted more. He wanted Gacy to beg for his life. He wanted him to show remorse, to say he was sorry, something. And, you're not going to get the peace that you want. What you want is your loved one back. And so I get that when there are people who are angry. And I you know what? I don't judge the people whose families have been affected. I understand where they are coming from. It's everyone that politicizes it and throws it at us as though, say her name, say his name. And when I respond, say his name, say Michael, say my brother's name, right? Because he was a white guy who was able to get away with it for so long. Why am I on this? Because when people post on my wall, I hope someone in your family is raped or murdered. How do I not? That's there. And I'm telling you, I guess, part of where I operate from. I don't celebrate in anyone's death. Okay, I just wanted to put that out there. Happy birthday to me. Where did that come from, Lady B? Whoa! I've been feeling a little emotional today. I think that's... I was having a lot of memories as I was driving up to Elkhorn yesterday, and because I went to Girl Scout camp there when I was not just Girl Scout camp, I was thinking about the whole thing. My parents and my dad had a friend who owned a cabin in Lodi, Wisconsin, and we used to get to go up there every summer. And I remember swimming in the pool. I was just telling the story earlier. We had like one of those. It was one of those sort of campgrounds where there were cabins and then a general swimming pool for everybody. So I got to play in the water, and there was a movie theater nearby, and my parents, I think I told this story before, my parents were prone to taking me to very inappropriate movies when I was way too young. They took me to see, in 1974, when I was 3 years old, and I remember this very vividly. For some reason, I have just a crazy sense of sense memory, like what it felt like outside. I remember just being a beautiful, it was almost dusk when we were going into the theater, and I was holding my parents' hands and swinging between them. You know how you take a couple steps and your parents swing you. I remember that. And they took me to see Jaws. And we were sitting, I remember like the teenage girl, like taking off her clothes and running in the sand and jumping in the water. And then, and I remember seeing it like on the big screen, and, her legs are underwater. She's just kicking, and then you hear dun, 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 dun. And my mom goes, okay, let's go. It was the music. She couldn't take it. It was too dramatic. It was just the music. We didn't even see like the swimmer getting bit. Like, when she starts being tugged underwater, like if you're watching online, you can see me do that. But my mom goes, okay, let's go. And that was it. And it took me until I was, I believe, almost 20 years old to actually see the movie fully. But at any rate, yeah, we used to go to the movies near Lodi. We used to go to Baraboo, to the Circus Museum. And we would, and then before I started going to Girl Scout camp in East Troy, Wisconsin, we would go up every summer, take a road trip up to Wisconsin. We would take Milwaukee the whole way there, because you'd take Milwaukee to Milwaukee. Milwaukee Avenue goes the whole way, and my dad loved that. So we would take Milwaukee Avenue and stop and have a picnic. And I have a picture of I was climbing trees. So my mom's got some great shots of that. And then when I was 9 in 1980 or so, I started going to Camp Juniper Knoll in East Troy. And I was talking about this yesterday with the folks in Walworth. It's one of the biggest reasons I work with the Democratic offices in Kenosha, Racine, Walworth, Janesville. Those areas are very familiar to me. When I was a counselor, we used to get the camp van, and we'd get to drive around, and we'd go do laundry and go see the movies. I saw Psycho 3. So apparently I would, at a young age, I was seeing horror movies in Wisconsin, from Jaws to Psycho 3. And I just have really fond memories. And what I often think about is the fact that when I was 9 years old, as a Girl Scout, I had more protections and I was safer than I am today in Wisconsin, or places in states where they have conservatives controlling the state legislatures. And that's a big part of why I go back. Let's take a break here. At any rate, at any rate, it's all preventable if we also manage our own citizenry and don't permit that kind of stuff. But you go ahead and make your points. You know that you're wrong. You know in your heart that you're wrong. If you want to text that kind of crap to me, you absolutely do wish that kind of stuff on people. And I've seen it before. Telling me that you wish that my brother were raped or murdered, or that somebody else does, and trying to excuse them, trying to find some logic behind it, tells us everything we need to know about you. I want to thank our friends at Pride Coffee Roasters. Go to Pride Coffee Roasters and maybe put in a subscription for a bag of single origin roasted to order coffee beans. And you can get a bean subscription. They'll have that delivered to your home. And they'll be at the Jefferson Park Sunday Market, where I'll be volunteering this Sunday from 9:30 to 1:30. Look forward to seeing everybody there. We got some great vendors lined up, including 2 new ones we'll talk about later this week. I want to thank our friends at Source Solar. Go to source.solar, make an appointment with Peter Sorellis. Maybe it's time to get solar panels on your house or business. And he will walk you through that entire process. He is partnered with Illinois Solar for All, and that helps you work out the financing. Again, that's source.solar. And thank you to our friends at the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. We'll be joining them at their walk Out of the Darkness Chicagoland Walk on Saturday, October 3rd. We'll talk more about that coming up. And you can truly support a cause that saves lives. Go to chicagowalk.org. Again, that's chicagowalk.org. And we want to thank our friends at Minocqua Brewing Company. Go to minocquabrewingcompany.com and maybe put in an order for some fascist tears, because they are delicious. Thank you to our friends again at the Chicago Federation for Labor. We are going to be at Eddie Fest and the Labor Day Parade. We'll talk more about that as well. Let me take a break here because I'm super late. More in a moment on WCPT 820 Heartland Signal, KKNW 1150 in Seattle. Hello to everyone tuning in digitally on Facebook, YouTube, and now Minocqua Brewing Company Substack. Thank you for being here.
Hey Progressives, it's Richard Chu, host of Chu's Views, weekdays 6 to 8 a.m. Central. We're all anxious for the 2026 midterm election to arrive so we can restore some sanity and much-needed oversight to our government. In fact, it's the most important midterm election in American history. and Choose Views will be in the thick of it, bringing you candidate interviews on a regular basis. I'll be talking to Democratic Party hopefuls running for House and Senate at the federal and state level, as well as candidates for governor and other state and local offices.
I am in love with our ability to fight for our rights, to fight for our future, to fight for our freedoms, to fight as our ancestors fought. It's just our moment. This is just our time to stand up and to speak up. We can't give up on this.
If you miss any of the interviews live, you'll be able to find them all on WCPT's candidate interviews page at heartlandsignal.com/candidates. That's Choose Views, weekdays from 6 to 8 a.m. on WCPT, Chicago's progressive talk for 20 years.
Because facts matter. You are listening to WCPT 820.
If you're listening to this station right now, you've definitely heard my voice before. Hi, I'm Hawk.
And I'm Pete. And we're with Source Solar, your local source for solar. Source Solar is Chicagoland's premier solar installer, providing solutions for over 1,000 homeowners and business owners across Illinois and Iowa.
With over a decade of industry experience and deep roots here in Chicago, we have the expertise to help your transition to clean, renewable, resilient energy.
We can guarantee that we save you money day one without any out-of-pocket cost to you. This means you have an instant ROI, instant payback, and can save money to add to your bottom line day one.
At Source Solar, we source everything as local as possible, meaning we always carry the Made in USA sticker.
Find us online at www.source.solar. Stop in our office at 5710 North Northwest Highway or give us a call at 773-985-3992.
And don't forget to ask for Hawk
or
and Pete.
No detours, no distractions. Just bold ideas and real talk. This is Driving It Home with Patti Vasquez.
We really are proud to be partnering with the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. Every step you take could save a life. Join the Out of the Darkness Chicagoland Walk presented by Happiness Project on Saturday, October 3rd at Montrose Harbor. This isn't just a walk, it's a movement, a day to come together to heal, to bring hope to those who need it most. Your presence matters. Your voice matters. Proceeds support the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, fueling critical programs that save lives. Take action today. Sign up now at ChicagoWalk.org. That's ChicagoWalk.org. Let's turn awareness into action. Together, we can bring suicide out of the darkness and into the light, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. Again, this is Driving It Home with me, Patti Vasquez, and we thank you for joining us on Facebook, on YouTube, and now Minocqua Brewing Company Substack, where you can see the live stream and check out some of the work that folks like me, Ben Cominos, Matt McNeil, we've got the drummer from Korn, Michael Yoakum joins us as well, and we are grateful for the support that we receive there. And every dollar that you spend at Minocqua Brewing Company Marketplace and on Substack and at the Brewing Company supports the work that we all do, as well as companies that will never, ever give a dime to extremism and MAGA. So thank you so much to everybody for the work that you do there. If you're watching on the live stream, right behind me, you can see a banner that says, "We will not go quietly," back to the 1950s. That is from a company called Liberal Lawn, and I love the work that they do. Let me know what's on your mind, folks. Thank you so much for the kind words. Yes, it is actually my birthday. I it's so weird. Me and Matt Byrne, by the way, producer, board up, coworker. Matt Byrne also celebrates his birthday today, and because I was in, I guess it's so weird to say I am in show business, but I was in a position where I did sell a sitcom based on my life in 2015. And I actually, did I ever talk about this that I shot? I think I've talked about this, that I shot a pilot for ABC TV talk show with Tisha Campbell Martin and Nicole Sullivan. In 2012, ABC was looking to replace or counter, like sort of have a balance to The View, and they wanted to get funny women. It was called Funny Women, and I was cast to be the third host on that show. And at any rate, I was very protective of my age because of genetics and my mother requiring that I moisturize at a very young age, I don't look my age. I think that's accurate, but I could be wrong. I remember one of my classmates, my classmate Jenny, a couple of years ago, I was at a fundraiser, and she came up to me and she asked me where I got my hair dyed. I don't dye my Again, it's genetics. My mom looks younger than she is as well. My dad always looked younger, and he was a heavy smoker and drinker, and still looked younger than he was. So it's genetics. At any rate, I always protected my age because I was afraid of people not. It doesn't matter how you look if they know how old you are, they can't get that out of their head. And so I was very protective of that, very secretive about. And I even when I would do interviews, even in my 20s. I wouldn't lie about my age. I would just use subterfuge. I would say when they would ask me how old I was, because journalists always want to know how old you are, and I was always moving the line, and I hated lying. But I would say that I was in my late 20s, which may or may not include my early 30s, even when I was in my 20s. I'd say that. So then in my 30s, then I started moving the line because I didn't want to lie too much, but I didn't want to be specific. And when I ran for office in 2020, you have to be honest. There's not, you're applying for a job. You fill out the application. You got all the information is public. And so there's no going back now, boys and girls. I turned double nickels. I am 55 years old. I was born in 1971, a proud member of Gen X. Steve and I were talking about this because we were looking for movies. Before Griffin gets to the point where he doesn't want to watch movies with mom and dad anymore, I try to watch as many movies that I feel were my form, like some of the movies that I really enjoyed, aside from Jaws, which we have seen. But so we watched Slapshot last night. Well, here were the movies. Steve was laughing because the wide range of movies that I had submitted for everyone's approval there was no rhyme or reason to any of it, except for one, which was either Slapshot or Absence of Malice, which is with Paul Newman and Sally Field. It's a drama about the morals of journalism. And anyway, I thought that would be interesting and pertinent to what's going on right now. So what else did I recommend? Oh, The Jerk with Steve Martin. So this is what I wanted to talk about. Yes, The Jerk, because I feel that there were sort of these. We talk about anti-heroes, and I have to go because we've got guests coming in studio, and I don't know if they want to talk about this, but we talk about like the anti-heroes like James Gandolfini in The Sopranos and Michael Chiklis in The Shield, and Nurse Jackie and things like that. But the anti-heroes of the not anti-heroes, but sort of like irreverent, kind of having issues with authority. Bill Murray, got Paul Newman in Slapshot, and Steve Martin in general, like sort of had that sarcasm. Well, excuse me, which I think really informed Gen X in sort of our sarcastic attitudes towards things. So at any rate, I don't know if that's something that. So anyway, those were some of the movies. There were more movies that I had suggested, and I can't remember all of them. Some were comedies, some were dramas. Foul Play. Okay, real quick, I got to tell this story. I'll wait and see. Let me see if they want to talk movies. I have a personal story about. I totally forgot until yesterday. There was an actress named Barbara Harris who was magnificent in a movie that I again probably saw before I was old enough to understand it. A movie called Foul Play with Bruce Dern and Barbara Harris. I met Barbara Harris in 1994, and it was interesting. Anyway, I still wanted to see the movie because I've moved past the energy, the sentiment that I had in our exchange. So let me take a break here because when we come back, we're going to talk to my friends, comedians. We have Evie, Cato, and Soli Santos. And as a no sabo kid, I'm sure I'm saying names incorrectly. I'm not really a no sabo kid because I never said no sabo. I always say no say. But we'll talk about that when we come back on WCPT 820 Heartland Signal, KKNW 1150 in Seattle, and of course, all of our friends tuning in digitally. Thank you for being here.
You're listening to WCPT 820. Here's the latest Chicago weather update.
I'm meteorologist Ray Miller from the Weatherology Weather Center. Clear skies developing tonight with a low temperature of 65 and south winds at 5 to 10. Tuesday we'll see a slight chance of thunderstorms with a high temperature of 81 degrees and winds out of the southwest at 5 to 10 miles an hour. On Wednesday, chance of showers with a high temperature of 77. Thursday, plenty of sun, high of 78. Friday, chance of showers and storms, high temperature near 80 degrees. That's the latest Chicago weather update. Right now, it's 79.
This is Chicago's Progressive Talk, 820 AM, WCPT Willow Springs, and online at WCPT820.com, where facts matter.
If you're looking to purchase a loved one's home after they passed away, you need to call Team Hochberg, your trusted local lender. Pam wanted to purchase her grandmother's $400,000 home after she passed away, which was left to Pam's father, Ted, and her Aunt Betty. Ted listens to my show and wanted to forego his half of the equity of his mom's home and sell Pam the home for $200,000. Bad move. I recommended Pam purchase the home for $400,000 and get a gift of equity from her father, Ted, for $200,000, which enabled Pam to purchase the home with a lower rate and no money out of her pocket. Let's review. I helped Pam purchase her grandmother's home without having to bring a penny to the closing and secure a lower rate. Team Hochberg's helped thousands of radio listeners, but we can't help if you don't call 855-563-2843 or visit 56david.com. That's 855-563-2843 or visit 56david.com. Atlantic Coast Mortgage, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 643114.
Hey Google, play WCPT.
Streaming Chicago's progressive talk from TuneIn.
Great news for those Chicagoans heading up to southern Wisconsin. Should you ever forget to load up on progressive brews from the local favorites like Rogers Park Provisions or Park West Liquor in Lincoln Park, Minocqua Brewing Company beer is now conveniently available at Dream Liquor and Cigar in Kenosha and in the Lake Geneva area at Delavan Liquor and Smoke in Delavan. If the great town of Madison, Wisconsin is your jam, please remember to swing into the Minocqua Brewing Company tap room at 2927 East Washington Avenue to grab some Resistance beer, pizza, t-shirts, and progressive camaraderie.
You're listening to Driving It Home with Patti Vasquez.
Thank you so much for joining us as we continue to drive it home. I am so excited to have in studio my guests who have a show coming up that someday I hope I have the opportunity to do. Am I supposed to, do I have to speak Spanglish? Soli Santos. And now I feel like we all say it differently, but Evie?
Evie.
You prefer Evie?
Well, my name is Evelyn, and so it's Evie. They call me Evie.
That's why
for
I thought
short.
it was Evie. Who told me Evie?
I respond to both.
I know.
Why don't you have a microphone? This is the weirdest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, I felt naked.
I was giving you headphones, and yeah, there you go. You're all set now. Yeah.
Okay.
I turned it for a second.
I feel empty.
Now
I feel better. Okay,
Hi.
I'm back.
The operations manager is standing behind the glass going, could somebody pull it together in there? Just
3 people.
I'm a guest, though.
So you had, well, I feel like I'm a guest too. You had told me Evie, I feel.
It probably was me.
Okay,
Guilty as charged.
Although there was a girl in grade school named Evie, and let's call her Evie.
I think it's because my cousin's name, we call her Evie, and her name's Evelyn. So it's kind of like ingrained in my brain.
Okay. It's Evie.
Either's fine with
Evie, Cato. And so is Cato correct?
Cato.
I give up. Could you just take over the show? I can't get anything right.
Just walk out of the room and come back in.
Evie Cato.
There you go.
And Soli Santos have a show coming up. Tell me a little bit about the show.
It is our Yo Sabo show.
Yay!
And that is our very first all Spanish Espanol.
So you do know, but you're still saying Sabo.
Listen.
Well, we didn't say the host, no.
Listen.
Yes.
Listen.
Mm-hmm.
Evelyn and I are the wild cards on the lineup. Everybody else is good to go.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
All right. We were just talking about that. We were like, we're going to see what happens with our sets. But everybody else is fluent and fluid.
Fluid.
A plus.
I have to make a correction on something I said. Now I forget. Family plot. It's family plot, not foul play. Thank you very much to our listener, Mike in Evanston. I was looking for movies to watch last night, and there was a movie called Foul Play.
Foul Play.
But also family plot. We were looking at both. It was both. See, you could see how I would get that wrong.
Yeah.
Foul Play and family plot, which was Alfred Hitchcock's last movie starring Barbara Harris and Bruce Dern. Anyway.
Okay.
At any rate, we'll talk about that later. So this is going to be at the Comedyplex again?
Yes, the Comedyplex, 1128 Lake
Yes.
Street in Oak Park.
Mhm,
Near
the beautiful
Harlem,
park
Harlem
downtown.
and Lake Street.
It's a really fun club.
It is.
It reminds me of it's both like a great comedy club for all the sightlines, the audio, the comics. It's got a great green room, but it also kind of reminds me of going into somebody's basement and it just has that energy of we're gonna have a good.
That's
we're
part of
doing
my
something we're not supposed to.
I always bring that up. It
Yes.
just reminds me back in the days when I used to cut school. And you go hang out in
your friend's
She
basement.
looks- yeah, have
Parents
some
are
fun.
at work.
I'm sorry. You used to cut school?
No,
I
never.
did not.
I did not. I mean,
I
you know
didn't.
when yeah, no, I did. When we used to have days off.
I didn't.
Do you know I found out after I was dating my husband for long enough to apparently fall in love with him enough to go, he used to cut school, and I was like, I'm sorry, what? I don't, was it?
I
did not.
couldn't. My mom used to take us and pick us up. I had.
There are ways in the middle of the day, I would imagine.
Well, I mean, I guess if I really tried in high school, but it was also an hour commute to high school public transit, and
fair.
I didn't want to.
Yeah, there's nothing in the neighborhood that you wanted to do?
Nothing. Yeah.
So
For
you-
me, both parents were working full days, and so I'd probably do what I wanted. But I wouldn't.
No,
Wow.
you're not going to get in trouble now.
sounds-
I
It
don't know,
sounds
my
like
sister
you would.
Carmen might be listening
There's
again.
definitely a statute of limitations.
Yeah.
I'm just-
And
yeah.
what's she gonna do?
Yeah, what's she going to do?
She's part Irish and you're not, so
She's law enforcement, though. So I can see. I
Remember?
can see the concern.
Yeah,
she
remember.
carries a weapon.
she got her own secrets and lies.
That's true. That's true. We've exposed them.
So this is Yo Sabo. So the
Yes.
comics do speak Spanish, but perhaps not the hosts.
Well, our sets will be in Spanish now.
Thank you,
Now.
Soli.
Yes.
Go ahead.
You're asking for some grace.
Will,
favor.
yes. Will there be some
Por favor.
conjugation errors? Possibly.
That's all I got are conjugation errors.
Gender. Will we misgender things because everything's gendered in Espanol? It's very possible.
Yeah.
Posible.
All right.
I got that one
May
right.
I
Más
go
o menos.
blank in the middle of my set?
Are you going to rehearse it? Are you going to stand in front of a mirror and see how you look speaking
I need
Spanish?
to.
All right. Do you want to try something? Give me.
This is not the mirror that you were referring to.
I couldn't do it in front of Patty. Could you see her face when we say?
Isn't the craziest thing when someone's like, give me some of your material? Oh my God. When I being a radio.
Tell me a joke. No.
One of my favorite things about when I was working for the state was when people say, what do you do for a living? I would say, I'm a policy advisor for the state of Illinois. And they were just like, oh, that sounds boring. And then nothing else.
Nothing else.
So, because whenever you say you're a comedian, people are like, well, tell me a joke. Let's see if you're funny. All the time.
Yeah.
I got a joke for you.
Oh, no.
Yes. It's always the worst.
I got a good one. Use this one on your next
Put
one.
it in your skit, little skit. I hate that word. I never
You're gonna
realized
get
that.
a lot of laughs.
There
Yeah.
aren't many words that I just despise, but I've grown to despise the word skits.
Skit. I felt really. It's weird to have those emotions that seem unreasonable to other people.
Yeah.
But Steve had a lovely aunt, and she would the way she would say, "So what do you talk about in your little skit?"
Yeah.
I just couldn't take it. I was like, oh.
You know what it is?
Sorry,
is
sorry,
that
Steve.
Whether they mean it or not, when people say that, it just sounds so condescending.
Yes.
And that's what, and the word skit sounds so dismissive and diminutive, like little, like you're little scary. What are you doing with your skits?
That's so cute.
So how do you say skit in Spanish?
I'm not encouraging anybody to use the word skit in Espanol. So now I got to listen to it
Now
in two languages.
my brain's going.
Also, I don't know. I don't know. That's a good question.
Okay, for doing a show in Spanish, do you take the act you have and use Spanish, or do you do different comedy? Are you writing different material?
Listen, I did a set many, many, many years ago, and I thought I could get away with doing that, and I learned the hard way that you cannot. I think a lot of it has to do with kind of the rhythm and flow and musicality of doing of your set in English, and the pauses and this, and you can't translate that. You can't just transfer. The rhythm is different in Espanol. The rhythm's gonna get you.
Rhythm is gonna get you.
And so it could be as simple as the word that you translate to in Spanish has different amount of syllables. So now the rhythm's going to be different. Or the word in English is a funny word.
Yeah.
And now in Spanish, it doesn't sound as funny. Like, it's all these little things that you wouldn't necessarily, that you could take for granted. You know what I mean? Like, if you're not detailed or very, like, breaking down your set at that level and then trying to translate it over. Some of the stuff sometimes works, but I found that you really have to be very conscious and deliberate about how you're going to translate it so that it sounds funny even in a different language. But for me, I find it easier is like, oh, this is a whole other arena of other juicy material.
Absolutely.
You know?
Did you speak fluent? Like, did your parents speak Spanish to you? I'll start with you, Evie. Did your parents speak Spanish to you?
Oh yeah, we spoke Spanish at home, but at school it was English.
Sure.
I remember I was in the what's the name of that second that when they put you in
ESL?
class, ESL class. My father went there and pulled me out. Oh, he pulled me out. He was upset. Why are you in this class? I still remember that. But so at home I spoke it, and then out in the streets I didn't. So whenever I'm in public or with I get nervous if I'm on stage. You know, I get real nervous.
Oh, mine's pretty much it's pretty much gone now.
Yeah.
I mean, because I was speaking up until Declan was born. Because when Declan was born, they told me not to speak more than one language in the house because they weren't
get
sure.
confused.
Yeah, with the language comprehension because he failed all of his hearing tests. So they were like, we don't want him to struggle with more sounds that he might not be able to discern. And but even before then, like I had working Spanish. I never people would ask me to do Spanish speaking comedy shows, and I was like 1,000% no. I was just telling our operations manager that when I was in Houston, I was doing a show in Houston at their Mexican Cultural Center, and they had me do like Univision and Spanish speaking radio, and I said absolutely. And here are the questions you can ask.
Okay, because
this is all I've got. Because and it would be an explanation of why I don't speak Spanish fluently, including the fact that my siblings who are from Mexico would mess with me. I've told you this before. They would be like nariz, you know.
Pointing at your mouth for nariz. That's
for
great.
nose. Yeah. So I have like Spanish dyslexia on top of everything else.
Oh, wow.
So I question now. I question myself in both languages. Anyway, we're not here to talk about me. So who are the comedians who do Sabo?
Well, we have a couple. I know we have at least one native speaker, Eliana La Casa. She's actually from Buenos Aires, so her Espanol is perfecto. And then we have Jose Alfredo. We have Licinio Garcia. We have a guest, Diana de la Sawyer.
Yeah.
And then closing the show is the one and only Gwen La Roca.
Hello.
La Flaca.
All right.
You know.
And then Melissa Dupre.
Dupre. Yes, she's also on the lineup.
Excellent.
As well.
Yes.
What a great show. I have a listener that asks, if I attend Thursday's show, will there be closed captioning for non-Spanish speaking folks? No. But I think it's going to be fun. Right? You get the...
Yeah. There won't be. We don't have that type of technology. If we could do it, it would be awesome. But
I think you'll have fun listening to the hosts.
You can have your Google Translate, have your phone, and just have it on audio.
I had a friend who had the glasses on. He came to our bilingual improv class show, and he had some
Google
glasses.
Translate
the translation across the glasses.
That's incredible.
What?
That is crazy.
I
was thinking more like the UN, where they have the little earbud thingies, and then they're
You should be able to do that. You should be able to do that with your Google phone. Have your Bluetooth on. Have your voice activated on Google
That would be
for
cool.
Google Translate. I wonder if that would. Now I'm curious.
I'm curious now too, because I had joked about that. I think in thinking about it, like, for the people that don't speak Spanish, to be more inclusive for the show. But I was like, I don't know that technology, you know.
I have some friends that are taking Duolingo, and they're coming Thursday. They have they
fun.
speak no Spanish.
They speak, well, if they're taking Duolingo, they're working on it.
They're working on it. Exactly. They offer. I'm like, yay.
Listen, I remember being a kid. See, my parents didn't speak to my brothers and I in Spanish when we were growing up. I think partially my mother moved here when she was 6. So she is a product of CPS. So she does not have an Espanol accent, you know. But my dad came when he was already in his 20s. So when he was mad at us, that's when we knew we were in trouble. When he was upset, and then when we get in trouble, he would go into Spanish mode. So as soon as he got into the Spanish mode, we knew we were in for it. You know what I mean? But that was pretty much it. Like, they didn't really speak to us in Spanish, so I kind of had to learn how to do it.
Yeah, Mom didn't speak Spanish to me at all. Dad was, from Chicago, second generation Irish. And then at school, I studied it, but in grade school, we had French when I was in second grade. Faire Jacques, dormez-vous.
You had a language class? You had language in grade school?
Latina, ding, dang, dong.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was going to say, what school did you go to?
Anaheim.
I didn't.
Yeah, no, in the 70s. That would have been in the 70s that they did that. Let's take a break here and continue our conversation. A conversation with Evie, Cato, and Soli Santos. Their show is Yo Sabo, an all-speaking Spanish show hosted by two comedians who perhaps will conjugate verbs judiciously per their own experience and expertise, featuring a lot of great comedians. We'll talk more about the show coming up. It's on comedy at the Comedy Plex on Thursday. What's the website for folks?
ComedyPlex.com.
And if you use the code YOSABO, all in caps, you get $5 off.
YOSABO, $5 off. More after this on WCPT 820 Heartland Signal, KKNW 1115 Seattle. And hello to everyone tuning in digitally on Facebook, YouTube, and now Minocqua Brewing Company Substack. And thank you to those who tune in on our podcast, available at heartlandsignal.com. Follow our newsroom, catching the stories that shape our democracy. More after this.
This is WCPT telling you that you can shop blue. With the Trump administration making over $1 trillion in cuts to Medicaid and the ACA, let's take a look at some health insurance companies that support the Democratic Party. CVS Health. CVS Health donated $938,000 to local action committees, sitting in the middle at a 50-50 split on parties they donate to. But with donations from senior leaders and other employees, 64% of their donations went to Democrats. Walgreens donated $316,000 to local action committees in 2024. But it's also a 50-50 split with their political donations. But with their senior leaders and other employees, 70% of Walgreens donations went to Democrats. Blue Cross Blue Shield. In 2024, Blue Cross Blue Shield donated $5 million in political gifts. It was a 50-50 split between both parties, but with senior leaders and other employees' donations, 64% of those donations went to Democrats. This has been WCPT telling you that you can shop blue.
Every 16 seconds, an American receives a cancer diagnosis, and every minute of every day, another person loses their life to cancer. That's why Stand Up to Cancer has set a bold goal to make early-stage detection an essential part of standard of care for all cancers. So often, if cancer is detected early, the chance of long-term survival is 90%. So if we all support cancer research, more than 2 million lives can be saved in the next decade. So join the mission and help save lives today at standuptocancer.org.
Don't let biased algorithms or degree screens or exclusive professional networks or stereotypes. Don't let anything keep you from discovering the half of the workforce who are stars. Workers skilled through alternative routes rather than a bachelor's degree. It's time to tear the paper ceiling and see the stars beyond it. Find out how you can make stars part of your talent strategy at tearthepaperceiling.org. Brought to you by Opportunity at Work and the Ad Council.
WCPT 820, Chicago's progressive talk, where facts matter.
You know Minocqua Brewing Company ships right to you because drinking progressively shouldn't require a road trip. You need to try it is and always will be the Gulf of Mexico Mexican Lager. Yeah, that's the real name because when our, let's be generous and say, cognitively adventurous president tried to erase 5 centuries of geographic history with an executive order, the sane half of America grabbed a cold one and said, nah, it's crisp, it's Mexican style, and it pairs beautifully with common sense. And the Freedom Trail Kolsch, smooth, easy drinking, inspired by World War II escape routes that saved lives fleeing Nazi tyranny. Because resistance isn't just a bumper sticker, it's a tradition worth toasting. Order online anytime at MinocquaBrewingCompany.com. They'll ship it right to your door. And for our Collar County friends, find them locally at our Tolly Wine and Company in Rockford, Bootleggers Liquors in Frankfurt, Westside Liquor in Morris, Liquor World in Kankakee, and the Deli Llama Store and Cafe in Lake Villa. Minocqua Brewing Company, progressive beer for people who still give a damn.
No detours, no distractions. Just bold ideas and real talk. This is Driving It Home with Patti Vasquez.
you so much for driving it home with me. I'm your host, Patti Vasquez. Joining me in studio are Soli, Santos, and Evie. Cato, they're the hosts of Yo Sabo this Thursday at the Comedy Plex in Oak Park. It's a really fun comedy venue. We're going to keep talking about the show that you have, but I just want to go back to, I was telling some stories about movies that my parents took me to see when I was a kid and that I wanted to share with my family. And there's a movie called Family Plot, which was Alfred Hitchcock's last movie. And it stars Bruce Dern and Barbara Harris. And Bruce, I don't know if you're familiar with the actor Bruce Dern, Laura Dern's father, by the way.
Okay.
One of the few actors in cinematic history to actually kill John Wayne. He only died in a few films, and actually he shoots him in the back in Cowboys. And I know too much about older movies. At any
There's
rate,
nothing wrong with that.
So my parents took me to see this movie when I was really little, and I kind of remember it, and it was really interesting to me. And I have not seen it since. I don't think I've seen it since. But the actress, I want to say that she was an Academy Award nominated actress. She was actually she's the original Freaky Friday. If you're familiar with the remake with Jamie Lee Curtis,
Yes.
she's in Family Plot. So she was in several movies. She was an American Tony Award-winning Broadway stage star, Academy Award nominated. She has passed away about 8 years ago. I want to say she was like one of the founding members. Yes, she was one of the founding members in the Playwrights Theater Club, whose other members included Ed Asner, Mike Nichols, and Elaine May. She was also in the Compass Players, the ongoing improvisational theater, which I believe then kind of became Second City. At any rate, so long story short, when I started doing stand-up comedy, I started dating this guy who ran sound at the Improv. He was a sound guy, and he was also a theater director, and he was directing a play that was going to be what's right now Stage 773, then became like a bar area, but anyway, on Belmont Avenue. And I had a small role in it, but I was also doing book for all the actors that were going to be in the play, and we were at a park, and someone knew Barbara Harris, and they invited her. You guys, she came up to me. I was like 22 years old, and I was like really excited to be in this little play, and even though it's because my, whatever, but she came up to me and she goes, "Sleeping your way into the business?" Barbara Harris.
Are you kidding me?
Why did she say that to you?
Were you?
Not for. No, I mean, like he was the sound guy at the Improv.
I don't know how that goes. I don't know the levels.
I love how Evie at first sounded offended for you, and then she was like, "Well, were you?"
No.
I mean, I don't know where that falls in the level.
I didn't want to be a stage actress, right? Like he had like a funny little like one bit part, like one line or something for me.
Yeah.
I had no aspirations. I wasn't even auditioning for commercials yet. I went to theater school after that. Like I started doing stand up comedy in 1994. In 1999, I went to UIC for my master's in theater because I was not sleeping my way into the business. But here's the other thing: is that women are always accused of that in stand up comedy. And at any rate, Barbara Harris asked me if I was sleeping my way into the Academy Award nominated actress, Barbara Harris.
Well,
but here's the thing:
if sleeping your way to the top in comedy is the way to go, no wonder my career is going nowhere.
Let's not get started on that. There are comics who we know have had relationships that have been helpful to their careers, and no, we don't need to.
I have slept my way to the middle in social work.
I don't.
All lateral positions. Nobody.
The sleep or the work.
I was to clarify, please.
Sleep my way to the middle. To the middle.
Oh my God. Anyway, I just because I didn't want to leave that hanging out there and then have to explain myself to a whole new audience when Minneapolis, St. Paul comes in at after 6 o'clock and like start all over again. So you'll have to catch up. But anyway, the movie. But for years, she was from Evanston, and so she was. The last time I saw her in a movie was in Grosse Pointe Blank. I believe she plays John Cusack's mom in that movie. Really, I love that movie. Have you ever seen that?
No.
Movie? My husband hates John Cusack. So dislikes him significantly. They grew up in the same communities. They made everything awkward. Hi, everybody.
So it's personal reasons.
Yes.
Of the disliking.
Yes.
Okay.
But he also, I think he has some thoughts about his talent as well.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay, anyway, Barbara Harris said I was a slut. And for a long time I disliked that, and now I kind of like, I should have felt proud.
That's what I thought.
She saw me as a
God.
little... Yeah.
Thank you.
I feel threatened by me.
I would have been like, takes one to know one. Takes one to know one. Well, what is it? what is it? What I am? You are.
I know.
I know you are.
What am I?
Okay, so let's break. Oh, now we have to take a break. So now we have to. I've ruined everything by my silly little story about Barbara Harris calling me a slut.
It's your birthday.
It's
you
my
can
birthday. Yeah, Barbara Harris called me a slut.
Cari freca.
And
Sucia.
You know what? I think I missed out on meeting all the original Playwrights Theater Club members because Ed Asner licked my face.
What?
Let's take a break.
No, wait.
I have. Oh, you know what's so funny about that? I have pictures and I have witnesses.
What?
Let's take it. It wasn't on a cake.
And
Let's
now we
take
gotta
a
go on break. Hold up. She said that we go on break. What?
This is a cliffhanger.
I'll pull up the picture so you can see them
Oh
and believe
my
me.
God.
More after this. Yeah,
I love it.
The old man from Up licked my face. And he
Now
goes,
you got mono.
And then he goes, "It's salty. I like it."
What?
Upgrade your summer drives with the stunning performance of a Porsche. Find the perfect model for you at the Porsche Exchange in Highland Park. Browse and test drive our extensive selection like the 2026 Porsche Cayenne. Right now, lease the 2026 Cayenne for just $1149 a month for 39 months. Discover performance like no other when you visit the Porsche Exchange in Highland Park or PorscheExchange.com. $10,859 to its signing for qualified buyers. Excludes tax, title, license, and dealer fee. No security deposit required. See dealer for details. Offer ends 8/31/26.
Everyone needs to take care of their mental health, even running back Bijan Robinson.
When I'm on the field and feeling the pressure, I usually just take a deep breath. When I'm just breathing and seeing what's in front of me, everything just slows down. It just makes me feel great before I run the play.
Just like Bijan, we all need a strong mental game on and off the field. Make a game plan for your mental health at loveyourmindplaybook.org.
Love your mind.
Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Foundation, the Arthur M. Blank Family Foundation, and the Ad Council.
The all-new Pro Battery by Steel. Tackle any task with 60% more peak power, exclusively available at your local Steel dealer. 60% peak power comparison between AP300 PC and AP300F.
AP News, I'm Ben Thomas. President Trump's dismissing concerns about conditions aboard the USS Abraham Lincoln deployed in the Middle East. Julie Walker has the latest.
The aircraft carrier has been the subject of escalating concern over mental health and supply issues for American sailors enduring a record-setting, uninterrupted time at sea of more than 240 days. Trump calls the reports fake news.
Over the years, we've had them out there much longer. I was at a group meeting, and an admiral came up to see me over the weekend. And it was at a big group, and he happened to be an admiral retired. He said, I've been on ships that are out there much longer than that, sir. And I know people on the Lincoln, they say it's beautifully maintained and beautifully taken care of. And other people went out and they found out to be true. It was fake news reporting.
The Lincoln arrived in the Middle East in January and has been supporting the U.S. war against Iran, including the blockade on Iranian ports. I'm Julie Walker.
President Trump's son-in-law and Mideast envoy Jared Kushner met with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu today on the path ahead for Gaza. While officials signaled some optimism, there appeared no concrete commitment by Israel to the latest U.S. proposed plan. American negotiators appear to acquiesce to Israeli demands that Hamas disarmament comes before any reconstruction of the devastated territory. In the Iran war, the 60-day deadline for an agreement to end the conflict and resolve the dispute over Tehran's nuclear program is expiring. Iran says it's working to finalize a joint statement with Oman on a plan to manage shipping through the Strait of Hormuz. Trump reportedly told a Fox News reporter the U.S. would bomb Oman if it gets in the way. He told reporters in the Oval Office today,
No, I don't think they'd behave very well, but we'd handle them very easily.
Oil prices rose again today, while on Wall Street, stocks closed lower. This is AP News. Actor Hayden Panettiere has died at age 36. Her career started at just 11 months old in a toy commercial, and after child roles in soap operas, she was a teen when her role as a superpowered cheerleader in Heroes propelled her to fame. In 2009, telling AP,
"It's such a big part of my life, and it's like home. But it definitely is emotionally taxing and physically taxing sometimes."
She later starred in the TV series Nashville, taking on the role of a brash upstart country singer Juliet Barnes.
Being in this industry, it's preparation for this character. There's a lot of things that are very similar, a lot of parallels, and just being a young person growing up in the spotlight.
In real life, she had a daughter with Ukrainian boxer Vladimir Klitschko in 2014 and acknowledged postpartum depression and alcohol addiction. There's more news at apnews.com. I'm Ben Thomas. Thanks for listening.
This is 8:20 a.m. WCPT Willow Springs and streaming worldwide at WCPT820.com. We are Chicago's progressive talk, where facts matter. Now, your WCPT 820 weather update.
I'm meteorologist Ray Miller from the Weatherology Weather Center. Clear skies developing tonight with a low temperature of 65 and south winds at 5 to 10. Tuesday, we'll see a slight chance of thunderstorms with a high temperature of 81 degrees and winds out of the southwest at 5 to 10 miles an hour. On Wednesday, chance of showers with a high temperature of 77. Thursday, plenty of sun, high of 78. Friday, chance of showers and storms, high temperature near 80 degrees. That's the latest Chicago weather update. Right now, it's 77.
Hi, I'm Tim Meadows. You've heard the phrase out with the old and in with the new, right? Well, buckle up because Stand Up to Cancer's vehicle donation program makes it easy to turn your old vehicle into new life-saving cancer research. More than 2 million Americans hear the words, "You have cancer," each year. That's why Stand Up to Cancer is dedicated to funding cancer research focused on finding cures. Donating is easy, pickup is free, and your gift may qualify for a tax deduction. Visit standuptocancer.org/cars to learn more.
I always had to be so good, no one could ignore me. Carve my path with data and drive. But some people only see who I am on paper. The paper ceiling, the limitations from degree screens to stereotypes that are holding back over 70 million stars. Workers skilled through alternative routes, rather than a bachelor's degree. It's time for skills to speak for themselves. Find resources for breaking through barriers at tearthepaperceiling.org. Brought to you by Opportunity at Work and the Ad Council.
This is WCPT 820, where facts matter.
Driving it home with Patti Vasquez, Patti Vasquez. From global conflicts to greenhouse gases, the folks refusing to wear masks says, and politicians getting caught grabbing asses says, she's driving it home with Patti Vasquez.
It is a dance party in the studio. Joining me in studio are my guest co-hosts for the rest of the show tonight because, technically, because I have a pre-record coming up in just a little bit with a candidate who's running for office, Erica Bray-Parker, candidate for Illinois House District 47. That's coming up in the last segment of the show. Joining me right now in studio are Soli, Santos, and Evie, Cato, the hosts of Yo Sabo this Thursday. It's an all-Spanish speaking show except for possibly the hosts.
We're going to be doing our sets in Espanol.
Yes.
Right. I do think so. Okay. Why is it Yo Sabo? Because I'm seeing a trend on social media of people talking about being a Yo Sabo kid, which I had never heard until you guys.
No Sabo
No
kid.
Sabo.
So the Yo Sabo
they do know
is incorrect form as well. So Sabo is I know is saber.
Right.
In saber in Spanish, right? But it's an irregular verb. So when you conjugate it in reference to yourself, like I know, it's yo sé, right? But almost everything else that you would conjugate in Spanish in reference to yourself would end in an O. So usually kids try to kids
saber,
who don't,
right?
Yeah, they would just go the same pattern, right? And then that's where the Sabo comes in because they don't, non-Spanish speakers would be like, if everything else ends in a no when I'm referencing myself, then saber should do the same, but it's an irregular verb, so it's yo sé, so it throws you off,
yes,
right?
That's why I can't conjugate a verb to save my life.
Right, that's where the Sabo term comes from. And then I had decided to call this show Yo Sabo, even though that's still incorrect, and this is a Spanish speaking, because it just, the iteration just flowed better with the no Sabo.
It works, yes.
For no Sabo, and, a little silliness about it,
That's what we're about.
So, that's right. We love
it sounds like a great show, too. I'm very excited for you guys.
I'm excited.
This Thursday at the Comedyplex here in the Chicagoland area, actually, specifically in Oak Park. The website is comedyplex.com.
Yes.
For tickets. And if you type in all caps, Yo Sabo, for $5 off.
Yes.
I like it very much. Before we continue our conversation, I want to thank our sponsors, Pride Coffee Roasters. Go to pridecoffeeroasters.com and put in an order for some of the best single origin roasted to order coffee beans you have ever had. They will be in person at the Jefferson Park Sunday Market this Sunday, as well as the Skokie Market. And they've got other markets available for you to join and say hello. Grab a bag of really incredible fresh roasted coffee, especially to order. And they'll be in Skokie, Jefferson Park this Sunday. I'll be at Jefferson Park with them from 9:30 to 1:30 because I'm a volunteer with the Jefferson Park Sunday Market. We'll tell you more about the vendors in a few days. We'll also, I encourage you to go to their website. They've also got some great gay swag. I have a hoodie that says "Sounds gay, I'm in," and I think
I like that.
Wow, gay folks have a lot of fun. Is all I'm saying. Can I just
their parade is the only parade I like.
That's so much fun.
It really. You should come. Walk
I didn't make it this year.
You should walk with us next year. You can walk with us. I'll get you a t-shirt and everything to walk with us.
Yes, please.
Absolutely.
Yes, please.
We'd love to have you walk. Oh my God, so much fun.
Fun. Yes.
Oh, it's a blast. I love the Pride Parade. So that's Pride Coffee Roasters. Go to pridecoffeeroasters.com. We also want to thank our friends at Source Solar. Do you have a house? Do you have solar on your houses?
No, I don't have solar.
Do you
I have a house.
Just take a look at Source Solar. Have you ever thought about it? I'm just saying.
I have thought about it.
So I just talked to my friend Peter Sorellis. To walk you through the whole process. I'm just saying, it's a way to save money and improve the value of your own. When you go green, you save green. So
yes,
eso. Ahorrar verde para no.
Right.
No. How do you go? Go green. Go verde.
I like how you said go verde. You still said go.
Go verde. Por ahora is ahorrar. Isn't that safe?
It sounded like you were growling.
Save?
Save? Guardar?
But I don't know how to say save.
Save like H-A.
To save money. How do you say
to
save? See?
Economizar dinero.
If you say so. What she said about saving green. Go to source.solar. He's partnered with Illinois Solar for All to help you with the financing and work your way through all of that. He'll explain the whole process. Go to source.solar. Thank you to our friends at Minocqua Brewing Company. Go to minocquabrewingcompany.com. Maybe pick up a can or two, maybe a 4-pack or 3 of our fascist tears. Do you guys like beer? I have some beer.
Love beer.
I have fascist. You don't drink as much.
I don't drink as much, but the name
fascist
is amazing. I love that.
4-pack of fascist tears. Easy.
Oh, yeah.
I also have Goza. I still don't know how to pronounce it, but it's a salty grapefruit beverage.
Ooh.
Abolish ice is because it's got salt in it, which melts ice. See?
What?
I'm just saying, it's very tasty. I have some Nope sodas for you.
Okay.
They also have 8647 non-alcoholic THC. I don't know if anybody.
You gave me the can of. Is
Did
that
you try
the
it?
can?
Yeah. Did you try it?
Why you say it like that? Like
did you enjoy it?
Like you said,
because you don't have a high tolerance.
I'll try it.
imagining.
I don't either.
I don't. I have no tolerance.
Yeah, same.
I don't believe you.
I mean, at any rate, yes. I've got some more if you want another can or two.
I'll try one.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Gracias.
Go to minocquabrewingcompany.com and get purchase some of your own. That's all I'm saying. We also want to thank our friends at the Chicago Federation for Labor. We are going to be joining them for the Chicago Labor Day Parade on September 5th, as well as Eddie Fest. Make sure that you are joining us for these incredible events, honoring the work that our union members do. And because, here's the thing, people think about unions as just fighting for themselves. When they fight for everyone's rights, they fight for everyone's rights. You benefit, whether it's wages, bargaining rights, workman's comp, all the things is important for all of us. So that's going to be on September 5th. And I'll get you more information during the show about where you can find out where it kicks off and the park as well. And we also want to thank our friends at the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. Step up and make a difference. Register or donate to the Out of the Darkness Chicagoland Walk presented by Happiness Project on Saturday, October 3rd at Montrose Harbor. Proceeds benefit the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. Register or donate today at chicagowalk.org. That's chicagowalk.org. And, we were talking a little bit about speaking Spanish because my guests in studio, again, are host shows, both No Sabo with comedians who are... Now, the comedians all have Spanish-speaking families. You have to be of Spanish ancestry? Like, what's the criteria?
I mean, we just had a bunch of Latinos that don't speak Spanish or not well enough that they feel comfortable enough to have conversations in public with people. That was the first show that we did a couple, like 2 months ago in No Sabo. That was a lot of fun. That was really great. And so we just wanted to kind of flip the script and go from one extreme to the other, and went from the No Sabos to the Joe Sabos. And that's why we're doing.
I would just like to point out that the word ahorar is save. Right?
Yes, you are right. I was going to say that you are correct. She just gave you a different term. That's all.
Ahorar verde.
Ahorar?
Ahorar.
Ahorar.
Ahorar. Ahorar. See, I cannot. It's been a long time since I've used I don't use my tongue like that anymore.
That happens with time.
I'm going to need a drink now.
Steve asked me, he goes, can you roll your R's? And I went, he goes, you sound German. It's a muscle you have to practice.
You have to practice.
I can't do it anymore. So I am. My mother's from Mexico. She did not speak Spanish in our house to me or to anyone else. So I did not have that. Like until I was 5, my dad would always tell this story about how this mom was yelling at her son in Spanish, and I went over and told him what she was saying to him, like when I was 5. But after that, I don't remember. Yeah. But I didn't speak Spanish. I just apparently knew Spanish. Maybe I just knew how to be yelled at.
Maybe.
Cállate.
I
remember that one.
This is what I'm saying. That was my dad.
Yes.
That's when I knew. I was like, oh, we understood it. But to respond in Spanish, are you kidding me?
No. I took Spanish in high school. I actually minored in Spanish in college. It's on my degree.
Wow. I didn't minor in
it,
but I did take Spanish all 4 years of high school and college. And because I was like, this isn't going to be so difficult because
that's what I thought in high school.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. And then I was like, oh no.
Yeah, I was like, I grew up speaking Spanish, but I didn't realize that there were S's in words.
That's that Puerto Rican.
I didn't know. My first writing assignment, I had no S's in it. I had. Yeah.
Like, there's no S in the Spanish alphabet.
¿Cómo está tú? ¿Cómo está? ¿Cómo está?
¿Cómo estás?
There was a woman in Walworth yesterday who was from Spain, and I really, her accent, I was just, I was like, oh, I'm not used to this. We don't have any of you in Chicago. I mean, we do, but everyone's very small.
You didn't say that, did you?
I kept looking at her mouth. You ever like have someone with an accent, or you're trying to? I'm like, she's speaking English or someone in another language. Like, I'm trying to focus. Trying to focus on what you're saying. Yes. So I don't speak Spanish. I would love to come and join you sometime, but I don't know that I can. I can't even do Spanglish.
Yeah.
I know all the cuss words because my mom called my dad a lot of names in Spanish.
Oh, nice.
Oh yeah. I can't say them on the air. No, I can tell you all.
Nice.
Off.
Yeah.
You tell us off.
I haven't even ever asked Lady B which ones are okay for radio. Are there any that are okay for radio, Lady B? No. She's like, run those past me first. So I am working on doing an hour-long show on this hour in Spanish.
That's awesome.
So would you be? I mean, like, yeah, of course. But would you feel comfortable on the air speaking? I can't even. Like, Lady B would have to moderate the show because I wouldn't know what y'all are saying.
Yeah, I would love to. I would love that opportunity.
Would you be comfortable doing a political hour?
Yes.
All right.
Do this. We can laugh at whatever we mispronounce.
Well, what I love, it's interesting because in our community, I'm not, we are watching what's unfolding with ICE agents and everything like that. And then I saw someone sort of talking about the different needs of each community because we are different, like Mexican immigrants, Puerto Rican immigrants, because Puerto Rico wants statehood.
Right.
But I know that there are people, regardless of.
I mean, depending on who you talk to, this I think the leaning at this point right now is independence. But
yeah, right.
There's always been a battle about that. I mean, I could do a TED talk on that alone, and I think the political feelings with people on the island and how they feel about that.
Yeah. When have you had a chance to go back? Go home, not go back, but I mean, I know that you visit and have family in Puerto Rico.
Yeah, I try to go every year. I usually go in January when it's not really the funnest time to be here, right after the holidays. I usually go because it's like 80 degrees.
And the weather's amazing.
Yeah, and it's not hurricane season, and it's kind of off season for around that time.
Tourists
if you go after January 6th, because that's Three Kings Day, and then that's pretty much when the holidays pretty much go to like mid-January there. And then after that, it gets pretty cheap.
Yeah, and the weather's perfect.
And the weather's perfect. So it's a great time to go. So I try to go every January.
Very nice. I know Annabella Val has a lot of family there as well. And
Yeah.
she talks a lot about, she had a beautiful story about when her mother passed away, about her brother and she going to visit where they had a tree, where they were able to go visit this childhood location. And I know that everybody, I would love to go to Puerto Rico. I was trying to think of the comedian that I would work. Sarah Contreras. Sarah Contreras. Yeah,
let's do a trip.
Can I do a No puedo hablar español?
Oh yeah.
You don't honestly, the way it is right now, you don't need to know Spanish to go there.
Okay.
Almost everybody speaks English at this point. It's you have a pretty good chance of bumping into somebody that speaks. They usually have a New York or an East Coast English accent.
I agree. I was just gonna say that. Yeah.
But you can get through. I took one time years ago. I took my then boyfriend with me, and he was African American. Well, I'm sure he's still African American, but we're just not together anymore. But I took him, and there was a panhandler asking for money in Spanish, and so my then boyfriend was like, "No hablo español," and I already knew what was going to happen. And as soon as he said "No hablo español," dude went into panhandling in New York English accent, like, "Hey yo, you got some money?" And I was dying because I was like, "You thought you were going to get away, and you did not."
Soli Santos and Evie Cato are the hosts of Yo Salvo, a Spanish-speaking show, except for the hosts. They speak Spanish, but they came up with the title Yo Salvo, and that's everything you need to know about a Spanish-speaking show.
Absolutely, 100%.
This Thursday at the Comedyplex, go to comedyplex.com, use the promo code Yo Sabo, all caps, for $5 off. And we can open the phone lines. I know we maybe have some callers that want to join the conversation. Let's see what topics are on people's minds and see what's in the news after this when we come back on WCPT 820 Heartland Signal, KKNW 1150 in Seattle, KTNF AM 950 Minneapolis, St. Paul. Of course, we're broadcasting here in Chicago on WCPT, and all of our friends tuning in digitally on Facebook, YouTube, and now Minocqua Brewing Company Substack. All of our podcasts are available at heartlandsignal.com, where you should also be following our please follow our newsroom. They're catching the stories that shape our democracy.
Hey, this is George Lopez, and I want to take a moment to talk about cancer because it is no joke. Hey, every 16 seconds, an American receives a cancer diagnosis, and every minute of every day, another person loses their life to cancer because far too often, cancer goes undetected until it's too late. That's why Stand Up to Cancer has set a bold goal to make early stage detection an essential part of standard of care for all cancers. So often, if cancer is detected early, the chance of long-term survival is 90%. So if we all support cancer research, more than 2 million lives could be saved in the next decade. It will take all of us standing up together to put this goal within reach. Our success is measured in the months, years, and lifetimes given back to the people with cancer and their families. So join the mission and help save lives today at standuptocancer.org.
It's 4 words no parent should ever hear. Your child is sick. It's 4 words that change everything. Those 4 words can define a family. It's 4 words that are filled with pain, heartache, and grief. And with those 4 words, the innocence and joy of childhood disappears. But Starlight has taught us 4 other words that make all the difference. The power of play. Healing begins with happiness. That's why Starlight Children's Foundation delivers happiness through gaming, toy deliveries, and more to 3 million kids at more than 700 hospitals across the country to deliver happiness when it matters most. Learn more at starlight.org.
You're listening to WCPT 820 because facts matter.
If you're listening to this station right now, you've definitely heard my voice before. Hi, I'm Hawk.
And I'm Pete.
And we're with Source Solar, your local source for solar. Source Solar is Chicagoland's premier solar installer, providing solutions for over 1,000 homeowners and business owners across Illinois and Iowa.
With over a decade of industry experience and deep roots here in Chicago, we have the expertise to help your transition to clean, renewable, resilient energy.
We can guarantee that we save you money day one without any out-of-pocket cost to you. This means you have an instant ROI, instant payback, and can save money to add to your bottom line day one.
At Source Solar, we source everything as local as possible, meaning we always carry the Made in USA sticker.
Find us online at www.source.solar. Stop in our office at 5710 North Northwest Highway or give us a call at 773-985-3992.
And don't forget to ask for Hawk
or Pete.
No detours, no distractions. Just bold ideas and real talk. This is Driving It Home with Patti Vasquez.
So much for joining as we continue our drive home here on WCPT 820 Heartland Signal, KKNW 1150 in Seattle, KTNF AM 950 Minneapolis, St. Paul. Joining me in studio are my guests, Evie, Cato, and our friend Soli Santos. They are the co-hosts of the Spanish-only comedy show, except for the hosts, Yo Savo, this Thursday at the Comedyplex in Oak Park. Let me see if Roosevelt wants to go. Roosevelt, you should go to this show, Roosevelt.
When is that?
Thursday night in Oak Park at the Comedyplex.
Come on, Roosevelt.
You've heard Gwen LaRocca on this show. She goes by Gwen LaRocca, by the way. It's not LaRocca. I know it sounds wrong. Boom, chicka rocka, chicka boom. Yeah, it's Rocca, not Roca.
Yeah.
Anyway,
well, I don't know. I might go, but here I'm going to tell you why I'm calling. Did you ladies see that knucklehead owner of Chef Creole restaurants down in Florida, Miami? I think he's in Miami. He's Haitian and he's a MAGA, and he voted for Trump. But now they're deporting all his people, so he's starting to close his restaurants. Now, who do you suppose was working in his restaurant? So now he says he regrets it.
He regrets. I saw that.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
There's a worse story. One of the worst things we've seen a lot of horrible things. One of the more disgusting things I've seen in one of these possible roundups was there was fear that there were ICE agents coming to this place in Texas. I think the name of the town was actually called Goodyear. And so people were trying to leave. They were trying to get out because it doesn't matter if you're here legally. If you look Spanish,
exactly.
speak Spanish.
Target, yeah.
So they're trying to get out. The manager locked the doors and was trying to prevent them from getting out.
No.
I saw a clip of that.
Yeah, that was horrifying.
And there's nothing worse, ladies, than a Latino putting down another Latino.
Oh, there's a guy from Chicago.
Yes.
Did you see he's the one that's pulled a weapon on people once here in Chicago?
I saw that clip too.
Oh, my God.
So
Marvin Laguna.
Oh, God.
Yes.
Yeah.
How about that young lady who went viral for, it was an altercation in a parking lot. She was Latina.
Yeah,
she
I see
threatened to call ICE on her.
I got a better one, lady. I got this one from last week. A Mexicana was her car died in front of another Mexicana.
That's what I'm talking about. Yep.
Oh, well, did you see what they did with her on the social media? The AIs that they put on her.
No.
They made her look like a cactus with tuna. You know what I'm talking about, the tuna that grows off the cactus. So they ripped her to shreds on social media.
Yeah, and they interviewed her husband, her ex-husband, or he's Puerto Rican, and he.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he said he wanted to do with her. He was actually in the process of getting a divorce. That's what they interviewed.
Yeah, and there's a lot of them.
Unfortunately.
It's sad to say that. It's sad to say that. And I was telling Lady B, reminiscing on what all of the stuff that Trump has said, the latest thing that he wants to annex the Strait of Hormuz. And also, remember he said all that stuff about Puerto Rico? There was floating garbage or something.
Floating island of garbage. Oh, I remember that very well.
The comedian had said that, yeah.
And then he wanted to trade Puerto Rico too for some land up in Greenland. That's what it was. So all this stuff that this guy I keep on saying this in Spanish on the Spanish stations that this guy infects. He's a walking menace. And the latest things is all this stuff that he foments. Well, he's done it all for 10 years now. We're going on 11 years now, because actually it was 2016 when he started all this racist stuff with the Mexicans. But it's sad to say that a lot of these people fall for it. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about Latinos specifically.
Yeah.
It saddens me that you have bilingual ICE agents too. I see a lot of young ladies with their ponytail and speaking in Spanish as they're arresting their fellow Mexicans. Yeah.
Or especially the ICE agents that have a Spanish accent.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you
could be picked up too.
What?
Yep.
But a lot of these people, ladies, that are Mexican, they ain't taking that garbage. You see how they talk to them? You see all the stuff that they're saying. You guys are talking about Spanish? Yeah. All I'm going to say is la madre. That's all I'm going to say. They tell them that. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
The Mexicans.
Yeah.
So, but it's so sad that all this stuff is happening. But I'm sorry to say, but it's going to get worse with this guy, Mark Wayne Mullen.
Mullen. Yeah, no, I agree. It is. I think it has gotten worse because now they're showing up. They're trying to fly under the radar and scooping up people when everyone says do things the right way, and they are, and they're grabbing them at the courtrooms, at their check-ins.
And I'm going to close it with this. I was thinking about what you were saying as you opened your show, Patty, about the crimes and all that stuff. What about the crimes that are committed by these ICE agents? They're getting little girls pregnant. They're sexually abusing them. Yeah. So, all this stuff that's going on, that's unnoticed, and it's not reported. And another thing that's not reported is the condition this guy is in, mentally and physically. You see the latest thing on his derriere?
Diaper?
The video?
Oh, my God. The diaper. Okay, hold on a second. So if you guys haven't seen this video of Trump coming off his stage, it looks like, remember the bustles from the 1800s where they have the big thing? And someone said you have to take the diaper out of the box first.
Stop. Oh, my gosh. That's hilarious and gross at the so gross.
Oh, don't get me started on this. What's her name? What's the woman who takes care of his changings? Who
she carries a briefcase with his
diapers and supplies. Natalie. Is it Natalie? What was it?
The diaper specialist. I can't think of her name.
At any rate, I mean, look, she's in love. She's in love. She says she'll never leave him.
Oh, God.
He says he doesn't go anywhere without him. I mean, that's a special kind of love.
Where's Melania in all this?
Oh, she's got a new series on Netflix coming out or whatever. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, the same. Thanks so much for calling, Roosevelt.
Thank you, Roosevelt. See you Thursday.
Go Thursday. $5 off tickets. Just type Yo Sabo in all caps. I know it hurts because you speak Spanish fluently, but it's Yo Sabo for the promo code. Yo Sabo. More after this on WCPT 820 Heartland Signal and KKNW 1150 and KTNF AM 950. My guests, Evie, Cato, and Soli Santos, the hosts of Yo Sabo, this Thursday at the Comedy Plex in Oak Park. They're the ones that are naming it, not the comics that speak Spanish. And I would be like, Yo say.
You're listening to WCPT 820. Here's the latest Chicago weather update.
I'm meteorologist Ray Miller from the Weatherology Weather Center. Clear skies developing tonight with a low temperature of 65 and south winds at 5 to 10. Tuesday we'll see a slight chance of thunderstorms with a high temperature of 81 degrees and winds out of the southwest at 5 to 10 miles an hour. On Wednesday, chance of showers with a high temperature of 77. Thursday, plenty of sun, high of 78. Friday, chance of showers and storms, high temperature near 80 degrees. That's the latest Chicago weather update. Right now, it's 75.
This is Chicago's Progressive Talk, 820 AM, WCPT Willow Springs, and online at WCPT820.com, where facts matter.
At Blaine's Farm and Fleet, we know you do things your way. So why shop the same retail giants as everyone else when we have the products you need and trust at unbeatable prices? Right now, select Shepherd wheels, casters, and floor protection 15% off. 3M WorkTunes Bluetooth hearing protection $74.99. And save 10% on thoroughbred welding cylinders and gas. Plus, Chick Days start Friday, August 28th with a variety of egg layers and meat birds. Find value for the work you do every day at Blaine's Farm and Fleet.
This is Richard Chew with something to chew on. Dr. Abdul El Sayed just won the Democratic primary for U.S. Senate in Michigan. The voters prevailed over $60+ million of outside money. So where do we go from here? If we, as progressive liberal Democrats, really want to save our democracy and take back Congress, then we all need to lean into this election in Michigan. So let's do some donor math. If 50% of the people who voted for Kamala Harris in the 2024 election each donate $5 to Dr. Sayed's campaign, that would provide his team with roughly $200 million to wage a grassroots fight against Republican Mike Rogers. When you combine that with the fact that Dr. Sayed's ideas are better for all citizens in Michigan, it's a real winning combination. So let's get to it, progressives, and win this country-altering U.S. Senate seat.
Richard Chew, weekday mornings at 6 on WCPT 820.
Alexa, play WCPT.
WCPT from TuneIn.
Listening to Driving It Home with Patti Vasquez.
Thank you so much for joining us as we continue our drive home. I'm so glad to have in studio with my friends. And before we continue our conversation, I want to remind everybody at the Monaco Marketplace, we've made it easy to boycott companies who've bent the knee to Trump. The Koch Corporation, who funds MAGA extremism, owns Georgia Pacific, which makes toilet paper and paper towels. We've partnered with Who Gives a Crap so you can get your paper products without funding fascism. To get a 10% discount on Who Gives a Crap, seriously, that's the name of the TP company, TP and paper towels. Type in the coupon code boycott when you check out. That's coupon code BOYCOTT. A percentage of every purchase made on the Monaco Marketplace is donated back to groups fighting the resistance in the upper Midwest by progressively at monacomarketplace.com, and save democracy with your wallet. Joining me in studio are my guests, co-hosts for the rest of the show. We've only got 5 more minutes left, so we have to get to some of our phone calls. Evie, Cato, and Soli Santos are the hosts. The non-speaking the Spanglish speaking portion of Yo Sabo this Thursday at the Comedy Plex. Your tickets are $5 off with the promo code Yo Sabo, all caps. And what time is the show?
7:30.
7:30.
Yeah. You could also bring your own food.
Sí.
And parking's right in the back.
Muy barato, very
and it's
cheap.
like $3.
Ahorrazo dinero.
Nice callback.
Just saying.
You know, see, listen to you. Look at you.
I'm saboing right here.
You're saboing. All right. Look at you. You're saboing.
Thank you to the folks who were wishing me happy birthday. I appreciate it. Karen and Dan, and I think a couple other people on Facebook were very kind to send me some birthday greetings. Dan Zielkowski. Sorry, Dan. Sorry. I still can't get it. And I've known him since we were 16 years old. Yeah. And it's so funny. I used to be the assistant manager at a place called, Laser Tag. It was a laser zone.
I love that place.
It was a laser zone on Northwest Highway. I was the assistant manager. So I used to have to manage like a lot of the, all the folks who had there were leagues. There were like teams and all kinds of stuff. And people would get mad at me when I would lay down the law. You know how much I like rules and I like telling people what the rules are. And one guy once told me, I'll never forget this. It's appropriate today. He said I was an abortion that survived.
What?
I was 16 years old. Yeah. Even though, I've always it's always kind of stuck in my head. Dan remembers that. Before we go, let's take another call from Jim in Chicago. Jim, sorry for keeping you on hold so long. What's on your mind, my friend?
I know you got a full house there, Patty. I've never been a fan of advice, but I'm going to go out on a limb. Don't wear those electric gloves when you're passing out candy.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's good
You
advice.
might knock a kid backwards, off your stoop.
Do you think, Jim? Do you think there'll be a point where some of these ICE agents, because they don't seem to have the best IQs, do you think there's going to be a point where they're just curious about how it feels, like when they're alone and they're alone
Sure,
times?
well, not only that, they'll probably shower with them.
That's hilarious. Oh my God.
They want to exfoliate.
Oh, please do.
Before they put the outfit on, they get overheated driving around those cars all with six in a car. But another thing that's so strange about this era is this nut in the White House. Any kind of accolade, he'll accept any kind of accolade that you could throw his way. Even the peace deal, he had to sign that in front of everybody in Europe. Make the big signature on it. And Hurd had no chance of surviving anyway, but he didn't know that. But as long as the camera's on him, that's the main thing. And then he came out this weekend and said that crime went down, thank God, in a lot of cities. A lot of shootings went down, and he's taking credit for that. And it's just insane. I've never seen anybody who needs accolades this desperately. He needs his name on the Kennedy Center. He needs a ballroom. I mean, this is nuts. This is absolutely nuts, Patty.
Yep.
I've never seen anybody like this. I mean, why in the hell does he need all these accolades? His supporters must lap it up because they figure, well, if he gets an award, that's like me getting an award.
No kidding.
It's nuts.
Hey Jim, I got to run because I've got a contest. I've got to give away. I got to give away a prize. Everyone tuning in right now. Thank you, Jim. You have been asking, and we have been listening. And WCPT is proud to announce Riot Fest is back September 18th through the 20th at Douglas Park in Chicago, featuring bands like 21 Pilots, the Pixies, Iggy Pop, Tool, Afro Man, Alanis Morissette, Elvis Costello, and many more. Tickets are still on sale at riotfest.org. But for one lucky WCPT listener, you will be going to all 3 days of Riot Fest on us. Nice. Every day this week, one listener will be entered into our contest to win a pair of 3-day passes to Riot Fest, and we will announce the winner on Monday, August 24th. But we don't want to leave anyone empty-handed, so all 5 qualifiers will also receive a $50 Let Us Entertain You gift card. Contest running on WCPT 820 are open to listeners 18 or older and residents of the greater Chicagoland, Northwest Indiana area. 1 entry per person, one winner per household. Void where prohibited by law. Listeners may only win or qualify to win once every 30 days. Complete rules are available on our website at WCPT.com at WCPT820.com by clicking the contest tab. And let me make sure I have all the information that you need. I've got to get this on my hold on 1 second. Just a reminder. Let's see. How do people qualify? Each day, one listener who calls in one. So caller number. Oh, someone's called. Why is someone calling me? Do I ask for caller number? Do we have a caller? Do you know that with the hold on a second, I have it in here. Wait. So yes. So caller number, give me a number. Caller number 3. Caller number 3. Caller number 3. 773. You have to open the phone line. 773-763-9278. That's 773-763-9278 for your chance to enter to win. You won't win today, but you're entered in for a chance to win. And we will be giving away a $50 Let Us Entertain You card. Thank you so much, Let Us Entertain You, for also being a sponsor of the Pride Parade for WCPT. This Thursday at the Comedy Plex, Yo Sabo with Evie, Cato, and Soli Santos. Go to comedyplex.com, enter in the comedy code, the promo code, Yo Sabo, all caps. Thank you so much, ladies. And come back soon.
Yes,
I gotta go.
thank you.
More after this on WCPT 820 Heartland Signal and KKNW. Oh, yeah, we have an interview coming up.
Joan Esposito, live, local, and progressive.
Very happy to welcome John Fugelsang back to our airwaves.
Joan, I love CPT so much. I've had so many good times at your studio, and I just want to thank you for what you do. I think what you do is just so smart and so positive and strong and moral, and you model for these liberals how to do it with intelligence and guts. Always intelligence and guts.
Joan Esposito, weekday afternoons 2 to 5 on WCPT 820.
When you've got real work to do, Metal Supermarkets will help you get it done fast. With a huge variety of metals in stock, we can help no matter what job comes your way. And all it takes is a few clicks. We make buying metal online easy so you can spend less time shopping and more time getting things done. Metal Supermarkets, the convenience stores for metal. Place an order online today at metalsupermarkets.com.
Chicago's Progressive Talk, WCPT 820, where facts matter.
You're listening to Driving It Home with Patti Vasquez.
Thank you so much for joining us as we continue our drive home here on WCPT 820 Heartland Signal and KKNW 1150 in Seattle, KTNF AM 950 Minneapolis, St. Paul. Hello to all of our friends tuning in on our digital platforms, including our live streams for Facebook, YouTube, and now Minocqua Brewing Company Substack. And if you have missed any of our interviews or want to go back and listen to something, everything is available as a podcast. And the best place to go is heartlandsignal.com, where you'll also find our newsroom, catching the stories that shape our democracy. We talk a lot about national politics, and you know my passion is with local politics, in particular at the state level, where decisions can meaningfully impact your life pretty quickly. And we don't wait for Washington to fix things. And you know who really doesn't wait? Illinois teachers. Our guest today spent 33 years in the classroom teaching kids civics, actual civics. We were just talking before the show about some of the real-time things and our near recent past that continue to have an impact. In basically teaching students, here's how power works. And now she's going to walk the walk. Erica Bray-Parker is a Democratic candidate for Illinois House 47th District. That's Wheaton and the surrounding DuPage County towns. She's been on the Wheaton City Council since 2019. She's a retired high school teacher, and she's watching the Trump administration. Are you retired? Because it sounds like
I am. I retired on May 22nd.
I was going to say, because it sounded like you were still teaching. She's a retired high school teacher, and she's watching the Trump administration gut federal education funding in real time. Money her own former colleagues relied on. Illinois is set to lose over $200 million in K through 12 funding if the Department of Education cuts hold. 32 Illinois schools already lost their community school grants, including one in West Chicago, right in her backyard. So this isn't abstract for her. It's Tuesday morning in a Wheaton classroom somewhere, and teachers are worried. And here's someone who is fighting to help. Erica Bray-Parker, welcome to the show. How are you doing?
Good. Thank you so much. This is exciting to be here.
Yeah, I'm pleased to have you, and I hope you're staying hydrated for all the reasons.
Yeah. And actually, I taught in the Glenbard district, and they just started yesterday. So the teachers are sitting in the classrooms today, getting ready for those kiddos tomorrow. So yeah. I miss it, but this is a next exciting adventure.
Oh, I think that it's one of the best things I've ever done in my life was run for office. So you taught civics and psychology, which I think is very important and pertinent these days. Yeah. Understanding psychology. So when you watch the Trump administration start pulling federal education grants in the past year, what does that look like from a teacher's perspective, and not a candidate's, but a teacher's?
Well, as a teacher's perspective, in the classroom at the high school level, we've got 30 kiddos sitting in front of us, typically 5 times a day, and you get to know them, and you know where those programs impact the kids and who needs some of the programs, and you know that money, the taking away of that money, is going to have a direct and detrimental impact on a child that is sitting in front of you. So it is real.
Yeah, that is daunting too, because it's already a responsibility, and to know you can't do it to the best of your ability is just unconscionable. So West Chicago Elementary District 33 lost full service community schools grant funding. Wegner Elementary, Lehman Middle School, Illinois overall stands to lose over $200 million if the pause grants get eliminated. So, that's a whole district, whether it's a teacher. Now you might be in a position in Springfield to help the district. I don't think people quite get the layers of, the municipalities, the school, the ways in which property taxes work for education. What is it like for, budgeting, for figuring out how staff would work, the programs, all the things?
Well, unfortunately, a lot of what the Trump administration and their people are doing, it creates chaos, right? Yeah. And when you're trying to budget for kids for the next year, and so you'd mentioned I'm also on the Wheaton City Council, and you want to do responsible budgeting, and responsible budgeting means you know how much money you have. And you can't do that for your people and the people you serve if there's chaos from the top, and the grant funding might be there today, it may be gone tomorrow, it might partially be, right? So it just creates unnecessary chaos. And like I said before, as a teacher, I know that has a direct, real impact on real kids and real families here in my community.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about, with the 33 years of experience now. I mean, like, there's this whole not trend, but this theme that I keep seeing, when I scroll sometimes. And it's a little bit about how, the person that you need to impress is not the loved one in your life, not, but the person you were at 8 years old and the person you're going to be at 80. And I kind of like that, in the sense that, like, what would I think of myself? What did you, as a kid, first of all, where did you grow up? And when did you realize you wanted to be a teacher? And serve the public, really?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I actually was born in Wisconsin. So I have a lot of family up there in Wisconsin near Milwaukee. And a lot of things impacted me as a child, for sure. My parents got divorced when I was really young. It was a single working mom. I had a single working mom, me and my sister. It was the 1970s. So, that's the whole era of my mom. When I was born, my mom couldn't get a credit card in her own name. She didn't have decision-making power over her own body. So I wasn't aware of it in that sense, but I was aware in the sense of my mom was working her butt off to provide for her 2 daughters. So that had a real impact on me. She also, she would take us to church often, right? She'd get us dressed up in our cute little dresses and we'd go to church. And I was always consistently drawn to the stories of the Good Samaritan, love your neighbor, the meek shall inherit the earth. And then later in my life, the passage about seeking justice, loving mercy, walking humbly out of Micah has always impacted me. And that transferred into my role as a teacher, right? Because you want to help the kids that are in front of you. You want to do right by them. You want to give them opportunities to make a successful future. The question about what made me become a teacher, I had a great support system. We moved down to, in high school, we moved to Palatine. So I graduated from Palatine High School. And I had great coaches, a great guidance counselor, and some great teachers. And a couple of them highly recommended that I go into education, that I'd make a good teacher. And I did, and I was. And it's just been a great experience.
That's fantastic. And where did you study to go? Where did you get your degree in education?
I went to Illinois State, down in Normal, teaching school. Right?
Yeah. Yeah,
and then later I really started to get interested more in government and politics later in my career, and got my master's degree from Northern Illinois in political science.
Well done. And so what was the moment? Because I remember the moment I decided someday I would run for office, and it was the first time Trump won. I was on the air when he took the stage in celebration at almost 2 a.m. And that was what led me to run for office. Do you remember that moment you had? You were like, you know what? I have to get in there with my sleeves rolled up.
So I had an interest, like it was at Illinois State University when I had my first interest. I don't know if I knew I was going to run, but my friend and I were walking in the middle of the quad. It was pretty empty, but along walked a senator from the state of Illinois. Oh my gosh, I'm blanking now. I want to tell this great story and I'm blanking on his name. The famous senator in the 1990s. Thank you so much. Paul Simon literally walked by us with his handler. And I said hello. I said I was in education, and I thanked him. Like I had I was 20 years old. And I had the wherewithal to thank him for all he's done for public schools. And he was so impressive and such a great statesman. So that's what really got me interested. And then quite literally towards probably, I guess it was 8 years ago now, I had a member of the city council, literally a neighbor, knock on my door and say, hey, there's an opening. Like, I've seen you, we walk dogs together sometimes, and you would make a great member of the city council. And my kids were getting older, and I had a little more time. And I said, yes, I should. And I worked in a different community than I ran for city council. So that worked out well too. But I've loved it. I've really enjoyed city council, getting in people's backyard, unfortunately, when it rains or storms and things like that, but just connecting with people. I love it.
That's great. That's great that you love it, and that now you've chosen to go to Springfield. Have you been to Springfield during a legislative session?
Yes, yes. So I also am quite active in my teachers union, my educators union, the Illinois Education Association. And so, yeah, we've been down there. I've lobbied down there before, met with members of the State House. Yeah, it's an exciting place.
It really is. I recommend whenever I talk to someone who's running for a state house, I always hope that they've been in the room, because it can be wild down there. Some of the antics that I was always surprised, because I spent quite a bit of time down there covering, especially during the budget impasse. And I mean, it is like since 2015 when I really started doing this. I started in 2011, but that's sort of like making it a little bit more theatrical. The Republicans really leaning into being so callous and cavalier about cutting funding is real in the chamber, isn't it?
Yes, it is, and it's real locally too.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
Oh, it's just very. I was so surprised. I was like,
and it's people, right? It's people.
Yes.
I think you and I have that in common. We know that cavalier cutting of the budget. Oh, we need to. It impacts the most vulnerable in our communities, and that's not right.
What is what is a fight that you've had at the local level that best prepared you? Perhaps can you think of something that really got you ready to tussle, as it were?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think what it is, and my education background, as a teacher, I believe really prepared me for this. We've had some issues about building. So we have a new apartment complex going up in downtown Wheaton. It was controversial. People are concerned for their neighborhoods, right? And I've learned that your home is your home, your neighborhood is your neighborhood, and you love it, and that's important to acknowledge. And then also progress is important. So there's been the apartment complex, there's been some expansion of a local park district area, and it really prepared me to listen to the people, gather as much information as I can, right? Do the research. And then like a classroom, you're delivering a lesson. How can I deliver this lesson to the best of my ability to reach as many students as possible, right? And you do that in an ordinance or approving a program of some sort.
And here's the thing, you've been able to, as you mentioned, respond to what people need immediately. Something, goes wrong on their block, whether it's electrical lines, fallen branches, garbage cans, the potholes, all those things. And obviously the things that policy-wise are important to the community as well. What does your community, what does this district need from Springfield? What are you hearing from folks that they want to see happen?
You know what? We need a voice. There's a lot of people that believe we haven't really had much of a voice here in the 47th district, down in Springfield. And the other thing I consistently hear is protection from the federal cuts. We need protections from the federal cuts, and also this collaborative spirit. So people are very concerned in a negative way about the federal cuts and what's happening at the federal level, but they also want me, once elected, to collaborate when we can collaborate and do what's best for our community.
And that's the thing that I think when we think about our state electeds, I wish people got more engaged. So what are some of the ways that you would encourage your constituents to connect with you when you are in office? I mean, so that people do feel like they're heard.
Good question. So right now I encourage them to answer the door because of the automatic doorbells. People aren't really answering the door. So please, I'm friendly. I just want to chat with you. But once, knock on wood, once in office, I will be accessible. I am accessible now on the city council. I will continue that. Calling, emailing, like even right now with my campaign, I still answer my own emails. We'll see when things pick up, how much time I have to do that. But I will meet with, come to my office. We'll have an in-district office that will be open because currently I'm not sure that we have that. And we will have, an office in Springfield that will be open as well.
That's great. And that's the other thing I do. I'm trying to figure out. I've wanted for a long time to do a field trip to Springfield, so that people can watch their legislators in action and meet with them. One of my solutions for the ring bells, by the way, was I would just quietly, and I have these ready to go. I would have. Do you remember from the movie Love Actually? When the guy comes to the door and he just wants to talk to her and he holds up the thing. So I had like the signs I had. Hi, my name is Patti Vasquez. I just stopped by. I'm running to be your state rep. You do have to figure out ways. It's a performance when you're talking to a ring bell. But
Yes, and it's just changed so much even from the 7 years ago. I mean, I've knocked doors throughout Wheaton twice because I've run twice. And it's new, just 7 years difference. But I do the same thing where I hold up my walk cart.
Yep. That's great. Well, it's really been a pleasure talking to you. Again, we're talking to Erica Bray-Parker. She's running to be the next state representative for her District 47th. That's Wheaton and the surrounding DuPage County towns. And now we've got about a minute left. Tell folks why you are the best candidate to be the next representative for the District of 47.
Great question. I am the best candidate because I'm well trained in having an open door policy, listening to the people, and again, making that comprehensive decision that's going to be the best for our district and the best for the people of our district and all that kind of stuff. Can I quickly give my website?
Oh, yeah, that definitely would be part of the whole thing. We can find
great. So please. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, where can people find out about how to, because here's the three things you got to ask for as a candidate. We need your vote. We need your money, because you can't keep the message going and get it out there to everybody. And we need your time. So where can folks find out how they can help you out with that?
All in one place. So my website is erica4il47.com. That's ERICAFOR il47.com, and that can get you linked to donations, to social media, on all that good stuff. And just remember, my little fun tagline is that you can't spell America without Erica.
Well done. Well done. It was a pleasure to meet you, and I wish you the very best.
Thank you so much.
And again, thank you for taking the challenge on to represent your district, especially since we need more progressives in Springfield. So thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day. Go get them.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Take care.
You too. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Have a great evening. Thank you, Lady B and Paul Shivari. I love you all. Take care.
WCPT replay.
Do you have another caller? Hello?
Hello there. It's Steve from the Gold Coast, Warren.
Steve Giovano. What do you know, kiddo? How are you?
There you go. Good. Warren, great guy, knows his business. I mean, from the business side of it to the mechanics. Like I said, known the guy for 20 years. I mean, we met. We were both seeing the same woman. I happen to be married to her, but hey, you can't.
What is happening? What
No. It was all clean.
Just got spilled. Hold on. I gotta get you.
Hey, you can't. But you can't put a price on a guy who, like Warren. I mean, she can go, but I mean,
You're hilarious, Steve.
No, I'm joking.
It's a joke.
Can we mark that as a clip for Warren's show from here on out?
Keep listening to WCPT 820 because facts matter.
AP News, I'm Ben Thomas. The American Academy of Pediatrics is blaming the Trump administration for lower vaccination rates of children in the U.S. Donna Warder has details.
Federal data says parents getting vaccine exemptions for their kindergartners is at an all-time high, and many exemptions are for non-medical reasons. In the 2025-2026 school year, 4.2% of kindergartners, about 155,000 kids, were exempted. The fourth consecutive year exemptions have reached a new record. Dr. James Campbell of the American Academy of Pediatrics says there has been so much chaos and confusion in vaccination guidance recently. Health Secretary RFK Jr. has tried to revise and reduce childhood vaccine guidance. President Trump recently said child vaccines should be given in separate medical visits. I'm Donna Warder.
In New York, Luigi Mangioni's state murder trial and the killing of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson has been postponed indefinitely. His lawyers are seeking to have the case dismissed on double jeopardy grounds after Mangioni pleaded guilty to federal charges last week. In Las Vegas, opening statements have begun at the trial of a man accused in the killing of Tupac Shakur. Jessica Hill's covering it for us.
Shakur died after a drive-by shooting in Las Vegas nearly 30 years ago. Prosecutors allege Dwayne Davis, also known as Keefe D, did not pull the trigger but provided the gun and orchestrated the shooting. He wrote a book called Compton Street Legend that includes details of the shooting. However, his defense attorney says that the book was fictionalized to make a profit. If he is found guilty, he faces life in prison. The trial is expected to last about 4 weeks.
The Trump administration's pausing a border construction project in Big Bend National Park in Texas, while the head of Customs and Border Protection conducts an on-the-ground evaluation. The project's faced fierce bipartisan opposition. Critics say it's marring a pristine environmental area, and the region's rugged and remote terrain already serves as a deterrent to migrants and smugglers. This is AP News. A teenage lifeguard and the boy he rescued from pounding surf up the California coast last month were reunited at the White House.
President Trump met with Ryder Williams after saying the teen deserved a civilian honor.
In those dangerous moments that we have, we always try to fall back on our training. We are trained so well by many to handle that situation as best we can. So I really am just thinking about how to get the boy out of the water as fast as I can. And for shaping my future, I want to be a firefighter in the future, hopefully go through paramedic school. And
he's off to a good start. We'll give him recommendations.
Dramatic video of the rescue going viral last month, showing Williams clinging to Nathaniel Ray as waves repeatedly crash over them, the pair disappearing from view. A second lifeguard was eventually able to help get them both back to shore at Seabright Beach in Santa Cruz. I'm Julie Walker.
More stories at apnews.com. I'm Ben Thomas. Thanks for listening.
This is Chicago's Progressive Talk, 820 AM, WCPT Willow Springs, and online at WCPT820.com, where facts matter. Amy Goodman reports on the news stories rarely covered by the corporate media.
Lawyers for Haitian immigrants are petitioning the U.S. Supreme Court to dismiss the Trump administration's efforts to end temporary protected status for more than 300,000 Haitians living in the United States. This comes as evidence uncovered during ongoing litigation has raised serious questions regarding the process Trump officials used to terminate the relief.
Democracy Now!, weekday evenings at 11 on WCPT 820.
Latinos have been here always, before, during, and after the founding of the United States. We are small business owners rising before dawn to power the economy, hands that pick, manage, and prepare the food that nourishes America. Builders of our homes, our cities, our roads, our communities. Workers who labor daily to strengthen the very fabric of our nation. We are caregivers, teachers, doctors, engineers, neighbors, families raising the next generation. Latinos contribute over $4 trillion to America's GDP, bringing promise, innovation, and vitality to every corner of the U.S. We are the backbone, an indelible part of the American story. We are America. America is us. Learn more by going to americaisus.org and discover how Latinos have shaped America's journey and continue to forge its future.
Knock, knock, Capital One Bank guy.
Wow, Charles Barkley?
I just moved into the neighborhood. Can I borrow some Wi-Fi?
Sure, Chuck. That's what the Capital One Cafe is here for, open 7 days a week.
Oh, can I use your ATM? My dog walker only takes cash.
Anything for a neighbor.
Can I try the catchphrase?
Sure, take it for a spin.
There's no fees and minimums on Capital One checking accounts.
Nice, Chuck. I'll take it from here. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Visit CapitalOne.com/bankguide for details. Capital One and name member FDIC.
We all have someone we love, like the favorite lyric in our favorite song. You can't imagine life without them. Cancer screening tests can help keep the person you love around longer by detecting changes before cancer develops, or catch it early when it may be easier to treat. And many tests are available for free or are covered by insurance. It's time to sound like a broken record. Tell all your friends and family, I love you. Get screened. Visit cancer.org/getscreened to learn.
Alexa, play WCPT.
WCPT from TuneIn.
Welcome to the bar. It's political. Step up to the bar. Thinking critical. You'll think at the bar, whoever you are, the politics bar. With Sean Smith, Pierce, and Jody Hamilton.
Hey, Jody.
Hey, Sean.
How was your weekend?
It's all right.
It's all right. It's okay.
I started twitching again.
Well, I mean, given the politics and the chaos and the frustration and the heat, the humidity, there were some shootings, stabbings,
The earthquakes that are coming here.
Yeah, I'm afraid of that too. I really would prefer not to, but there are a lot. Anyway, look.
We are so overdue in my town.
I know. Look,
I'm just like,
I know. It is Monday evening here. Thank you, by the way, everybody joining us from whatever corner of the world you are, whether it's somewhere that has earthquakes or storms or floods. There's a lot of that going on this weekend as well across the country. Thank you, by the way, to everybody who is joining us on any of our great radio affiliates like WCPT, AM 820 in Chicago, or AM 950 Minneapolis, St. Paul. Maybe you are listening to us on Georgia Now Radio in Atlanta and Greater Georgia, or on the Detour Talk in the Tri-Cities area of Tennessee, or on Progressive Voices Radio worldwide, wherever you happen to be, or maybe you are one of our many and varied future people. We love all y'all. So thank you, by the way, if you are subscribed to the podcast on your favorite podcast player, or if you are subscribed to thepoliticsbar.com. That's even better, by the way. You go to thepoliticsbar.com, $6 a month, averages out to $1.50 a week. Think about it. 5 days in a week. Well, 5 days in the weekday, anyway. And that way you get a new podcast each one of those 5 days, and it has no ads in it, and you get the news on tap so you can find out what's going on. Just scroll through, takes you 90 seconds. And then, of course, we give you the drink of the day with the recipe. It's a heck of a deal for $6 once a month. Of course, you can also do an annual subscription. That lowers your cost to an average of $1.25 a week. Check it out. Details are there at thepoliticsbar.com. Jody, what'd you do this weekend? Anything of note?
I was checking on my friends in Hawaii.
Okay, yeah, very much so. 43 inches of rain, I believe, up in the mountains
on the Big Island. They got 3 feet of rain in 36 hours or something.
I sometimes have joked with people, you where they get to tell their spouse, their significant other, hey, do you want 12 inches of rain? But I'm sorry, when it's 43 inches, that's no joke. No,
it's not. And Sean Bishop, who works with Lonnie and knows Bob Seska,
right?
He's fine. Good. And my friend Blair, who when I met him, we were both on Maui, and then he moved back to Oahu, and then he moved to New Zealand during COVID. Smart move. And then moved back to Volcano.
Now he's back. Now he's back in Hawaii
on the Big Island.
Okay.
And so I texted him. And I'm like, are you guys okay? He goes, we're fine. We don't have power. They still don't have power on the Big Island. And Maui's out of power. I mean,
there's a lot of places that, look, Midwest, as you know, I know a bunch of people there. And it has just been storm after storm after storm, especially in the Chicago region. You folks at WCPT. And there was some flooding, New York and New Jersey up there, some in the Ohio Valley. I mean,
the climate change is a hoax.
Yeah, no, we all know it's not. But we also know that the people who happen to be in elected office don't always pay attention and don't always tell us the truth, especially these days with the Trump regime. And there was some stuff. I am glad you and I got it from different corners, and we included the stuff today. If you go to the news on tap at thepoliticsbar.com, we got to start with Trump's many foreign failures, because a lot of those, look, first of all, the folks on the USS Abraham Lincoln, things are getting a little better. Central Command Chief Admiral Brad Cooper visited the USS Abraham Lincoln, acknowledged the mental health issues. I guess they're bringing more people, but there's a bigger problem. So the U.S.-Iran deadline for the broad peace deal was supposed to be today. That expired. So there's even before, when they were not paying attention to the ceasefire, now there's no ceasefire. Oh, and Trump has decided that he's going to threaten to bomb our ally Oman. Yeah, because, So people kind of wondered. They're like, how did this happen? How did one of the best fighting forces in the world get to the point where you got people who are on multiple ships? By the way, I'm glad you got that piece today from our friends over at Midas Touch, talking about some of the other ships as well. Aaron Parnas looks like he grabbed some good interviews, some good things like that. We got that in there. Who, as I said, it's a fleet thing. It's not just one ship. But the more important detail. So I remember when we saw this back in March, when some of this stuff started, that Iran had hit some of our bases, one of which was the base in Bahrain. For those of you who do not understand, there is a large base in Bahrain that is really the base of operations for the U.S. military in the Persian Gulf region, or at least it has been. But the base in Bahrain was hit from Iran early on. And if anybody remembers, Keg Breath and all the other yokels in this lying regime of Trump's were like, oh, no, everything's fine. It was a few little things, but nothing big happened, right? Actually, the base at Bahrain appears to have been hit significantly to the point where they feel they can't use it for serious significant replenishment. But that's been the main replenishment hub for everybody in the Persian Gulf region.
Which means planes can't land, ships can't dock.
Certain planes, yeah. I mean, the stuff that's carrying the bigger stuff, you can't have your ship docked there for a long period of time. You certainly can't put an aircraft carrier in dock there because it's vulnerable. So then people go, well, okay, where's the nearest depot? The next closest major depot is at an island called Diego Garcia. Since a lot of people don't necessarily know their geography all that well, I'll just give you a round general geographic neighborhood. If you look at a map of the world and you think, okay, the Persian Gulf in the map that you're envisioning right now is on the left side, and you're kind of looking along Southeast Asia, and you see India kind of dropping down, Diego Garcia is kind of down below India a little bit.
That's far.
About 2,200 miles.
That's far.
Yeah. Not exactly in the neighborhood. Think of it as you got your neighborhood store. Maybe it's a mile away. Maybe it's just a bodega just a couple blocks away, whatever. And your neighborhood stores where you get the stuff. And I mean, hell, in my building, I got a store right downstairs. So I can literally in the middle of cooking, turn off the heat, go downstairs, get something I forgot to get, come back upstairs. Makes life easy.
I used to live in a building like that.
Yeah, I love that. It's great. It's one of the benefits.
And it was a supermarket too. It wasn't even just a little baby. It was a supermarket.
It's great. It's great to be able to have that kind of option. Not everybody does, but maybe you're living out in the country and you're like, it's like a mile away or 2 miles away. I just hop in the truck and then I'll hop in the car and then I go. I'm like, okay, that's fine. This would be the equivalent of when you go to do the big shop. Like maybe you go to your Costco or whatever.
It's miles.
That's like 10 miles away in town or 30 miles away out of town, you're out in the countryside. Yeah, that's the equivalent. Only you're not shopping for you. You're shopping for 5,000 people plus. Actually, you're shopping for somewhere between 8 and 10 because you're not just shopping for the Lincoln. You're shopping for all the others.
All the other ships that are out there are supporting the Lincoln.
And it's going to take a lot to get it back, which means you can't just put it on other ships and truck it back because you need a whole big staging area. You need a staging area like, I don't know, Bahrain. We got a piece there in the News on Tap. We've got several of them there in the first round under the costs of lies during wartime that outlines the breakdown on the peace deal, obviously Admiral Cooper's visit, the other ships in the fleet right now, and lies and obfuscation. And I got to say, yes, part of this primarily obviously goes to the Trump regime, to Pete Kegbreath, and all the idiots who are sucking up to Trump and trying to make it all happy shiny. But some of this also goes to the national news media. Yes,
Absolutely.
New York Times and NBC and ABC and CNN, they all reported when those attacks happened. But instead of making everybody understand how important Bahrain was, and instead of pushing further and saying, this is a really big deal that this base has been hit and destroyed and compromised so much, they went on to the next story, and they went on to the next story, and they went on to the next story. They did not follow up. And one of the biggest things that happens that we know of, we talk to you guys here in the bar. You guys tell us. You get on your socials. You guys call us on the bar line, whatever. One of the biggest things that y'all say is you're like, hey, can you guys follow up on stuff? We always love it when big news follows up on stuff. Totally with you. I'm there with that. They didn't. The national, legitimate news media failed. They failed to follow up on this. If they hadn't, and remember, what was it? It was April, I think it was, when we did some more stories about some of the ships having these problems, the Lincoln included, having these. Remember the I think we had a picture of one of the trays back then in the news.
Yeah, it was April or May.
Yeah, it was April. It was
a while ago.
It was April 17th because we just referred to it the other day in the News on Tap. And then the 19th, remember, because they got a rapid replenishment, like 6 hour pull into a little port and get a little bit more than normal. So then they could take pictures and say, see, no, we got it taken care of.
But there were water issues on some of the other ships.
There were plumbing issues. There were,
They couldn't shower.